Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone live. We didn't go live last night, so this is why we are live. This evening, we have a couple of guests. I've sent them an email there, but welcome, everybody. Hope you are doing well. I'm certainly, this lockdown obviously is in full flow. So like everything else, getting a little bit agitated, but like everybody else, I think we're finding ways to kind of get through this. It's not all doom and gloom. You're hearing some beautiful stories out there, and you're seeing some beautiful videos. I just seen one there just before I came on. The little Irish guy, little kid, dressed in a Garda uniform, and basically asking the public to stay at home, stay safe, and protect the healthcare workers. Absolutely brilliant. Rabbi, I have actually sent you the link there as well. But we're actually joined by a new guest. I've never had him on the channel, so decided why not. This is what we do on this channel. So we'll bring on our new guest first. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Father Chris Miller. I don't know if he wants to be called Father Chris Miller, but we'll find out. But it's Father Chris Miller. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's a real honor. I just said on Twitter, what do you get when you get an Irish man, a rabbi, and a priest? Tonight's panel on the Tardis. So,
I got to ask, what part of Ireland are you from?
Dublin.
Okay, I did one of those ancestry DNA tests not too long ago, and I'm about 62% Irish.
Oh, that's nice.
County Clare.
That's nice. Sure, come here. The Irish are all over the world. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, let's bring on our regular panelist, also my co-host, actually, for these little Doctor Who news panels. We got the Rabbi from Another Planet.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Hi, Father Miller. It's so nice to meet you. I've always
finally good. Yes, good to meet you too.
It's so great.
Seeing your stuff on YouTube, and it's finally nice to be able to talk.
Right, wonderful. Yeah, we have to get together if you ever want to do any gaudy stuff. I'm totally up for that. Yeah, if you want to do something gaudy, I'm so up for doing something like that.
I'm not even that religious as you know, but I'd watch that. That'd be some stream.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well,
probably agree on everything.
I was going to say, another priest and I were doing some nerd talk the other day about Doctor Who.
Right.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen the new seasons with Jodie. I told him don't bother.
Yeah, that is good advice. I would say that's the Christian thing to do.
Yeah,
that's the Christian advice to give. Spare someone.
Actually, I never got to see the whole season 10. I'm glad I didn't either. I love Capaldi.
See, season 10, I've warmed up to a lot. Season 10, I liked a lot to start with because it didn't have Clara in it. And I really liked
her and Mackie.
I liked her and Mackie, but I really liked Clara not being in it. That's what I really liked. So I liked it. I always liked Capaldi's performance. So I've just been doing a major rewatch of him. I'm just about halfway through season 10. And now I will watch any Capaldi thing at all because I just love his performance so much. But
have you seen him?
Sorry,
have you seen him in the thick of it?
I have indeed. Yes, that's where I knew him from to start with. So yeah,
I'm taking the tab off for this one. I really wanted him to tell a Dalek to, you know what?
Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, he's got to do that.
It would have been perfect for him.
He's got to merge the characters at some point in a skit or something. This got to happen. Yeah. Oh, it'll be wonderful. Well,
he could have been one of the best.
And look, there's bits of him I just love, the opener of which I know a lot of people really hate when with the Dalek one, the Wizards Witches Familiar, the Wizards Familiar,
yeah,
right. I love it when he comes on in the tank and he's playing the guitar and he's got the sunglasses on. It's like suddenly we're in some kind of psychedelic John Pertwee. Like, it's just crazy. And I love his interaction with Missy. And, like, yeah, there's how he plays, like, Pretty Woman, and you don't know if it's for the Master or Missy or Clara. It's just there's so much really clever stuff in there. And it being on Scar at the beginning, which I thought, oh, I bet that's Scaro. When I saw the biplane with the lasers, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if that's Scaro? And then it turned out to be. So, yeah, I didn't like season, what was it, his first season? That would be 8. I didn't like season 8 much at all. Season 8, I find, although now there's episodes I skipped, now I'm really into this performance. I want to go back. And, I haven't seen Hyde for it since it was first on. But season 8 is the one that's the one I found out really many unwatchable episodes. You know, it's like I really struggle. Like, even this season finale, where I like a lot of it should have worked, and I don't know why it didn't. Like the Cybermen crawling out of graves and stuff. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. And the Master being Missy, like all that should have worked, but it just didn't at all. So it's a shame.
Right, listen, we've got some Doctor Who news anyway, kind of new Doctor Who news. So Elizabeth Sladen, as she's now sadly passed away. And before this worldwide tweet along at 5 p.m. UK time, there is a specially written piece by Russell T. Kindly given permission by Elizabeth Sladen's family. Also on Elizabeth Sladen, her daughter, Sadie Miller, is about to record her audio playing Sarah Jane. Now, some fans have been happy about this and other fans aren't. And the reason why I bring it up is because I'd like to get your guys' opinion on it. Whether you think it is disrespectful or not, or do you think it's a daughter, so it'd be, it's kind of, keeping the family legacy alive, and it's a nice little thing. Also, Russell T is going to be joined by a host of guests for this tweet along. Confirmed David Tennant, Catherine Tate, John Barrowman, Free, I can never say her name properly. Candyman.
No, I can't say it.
Who else? I think Eva Miles. There's loads of them. They're all turning up for this. I think the only name that I haven't seen mentioned, now could be later on, is Billy Piper. She doesn't seem to be mentioned, but the rest of them are actually...
Yeah, maybe that's why they chose this episode, which I thought was an interesting episode to choose. Of his finales, I think it's probably one of the weakest. I think it extends beyond its scope. It extends beyond its reach. I don't think they had the budget to really pull it off. And you can really see that. I mean, I've got to rewatch it to really get into it.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing it tomorrow because we're starting off with Turn Left. We're starting off with Turn Left, so we're starting early. We're starting at 6.
Right.
Yeah, because we're going to do Turn Left first. Because I think that's a trilogy. Because I think you should show Turn Left, because right at the end of Turn Left, you get the little lead up into what's going to happen.
Right, and it's such a nice introduction into the evening as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. Right here, listen, we'll get on to it. So Sadie Miller, Sarah Jane's, Elizabeth Sladen's daughter, going to be playing Sarah Jane Smith in an audio. Now, this has went down well with some fans, and it's not gone down well. I've been looking on the Doctor Who official site on Facebook. It hasn't gone down too well there. So I'd like to ask you guys on the panel, what do you think? Do you think it's disrespectful? Do you think that Sarah Jane's character should be laid to rest? Or is this a nice little homage to our mother, and we shouldn't really be taking it that serious, and let's just wait and see what happens with it before we make any judgments? What do you think?
So what is it? They're going to have her daughter play Sarah Jane in the new story?
Yeah, in audio.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you look at what they did with...
I can expand on it a little bit. She's already been cast to play Sarah Jane in one of the Lost stories they're bringing out next year. The Return of the Cybermen. So she's already stepped into it, but we haven't heard her yet. And so I think this is probably by Big Finish. But anyway, yes. So please carry on.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, they brought the first doctor back. What was it, David Brimley or something? I can't
Yeah,
remember his name, and he was perfect at it. I mean, he looked like him, he sounded like him, except for some of the, the PC remarks or un-PC remarks he was being corrected for. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if it can come off, great.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody is kind of worried about, and some people, even Colin has mentioned it there. The story, it depends on the story. I do agree with you. It does depend on the story. Listen, I don't think Elizabeth Sladen's daughter would take this on unless she firmly believed herself that she could do this justice.
Well, again, dependent. Everything is dependent if she's any good. Because here's the thing. Normally, when they recast people in Big Finish, they are freaking excellent. They are just like David Colshaw's Brigadier is just so spot on. Nicholas Courtney, and it's not just like an impression, but it's a performance, but it's a performance of Nick. It's really incredible. And a lot. Tim Treloar doing the Third Doctor. Same thing. It's a performance, but it sounds just like him. It's really. But when you hear it next back to back, I guess you could hear it more. So when it works, it's fantastic. They had who was it? Carolyn John's daughter play Liz, and that just was a clanger. Didn't work at all. It's like it didn't even sound vaguely similar to Liz. I mean, if you heard the David Bradley audios, have you heard them, Arthur Miller?
No, I actually have never listened to any of the Big Fish, mostly because I can't afford it.
Well,
I mean, how much is the story from Big Fish?
Well, there's so many cheap options now. You got all these. They got all these sales on. I think the first 100 are. I'm gonna look it up right now. I think the first 100 like 99 cents or like $2.99. They're like
for how long of a story?
Sorry.
For how long of a story?
That's like a full story. Hey, what's that?
I'd be interested in that.
One second. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm looking up the ranges. But there's so much. Just so much good stuff there. There's a classic there.
Well, when I see the stories, and I don't know what the foreign equivalent would be for us, it's like $30. That's a lot for me to pay for like a 2 or 3 hour story.
Yeah, no. But if you get the early ones. I'm just trying to find how to get the classic. There's no way you can get to all of them. Whereas a monthly event, there you go. So
what I did get recently, and I really enjoyed it, was on Audible. They had Series 10 or David Tennant's Doctor, like a collection of 5 or 6 stories.
Yeah,
and a few of them were read by David Tennant, a few were by Catherine Tate, and it was really good. I greatly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, they're normally like just excellent. Okay. So the first 50 are $1.49. There's so much good stuff here. Oh my god!
Let's see if I can find that.
There's so much.
Rabbi, send them the link. Actually,
send you could do that.
There. Actually, because it would be worth checking because there is cheap options. There is actually really cheap options.
No, that's really good to hear.
All the stories.
Podcast. Going through it. I'll go through. We'll put it on the screen. I'll go through the titles with you and tell you which are the great ones.
By the way, £5 super chat. Just want to read this. Are the J-bots upset that Liz Sladen's daughter is white and female, not PT? Your channel is back and all. Garbage. It's good to be back actually from but I have to say I love your comments. They're absolutely fantastic. But listen, no, it's not just Jodie Whittaker fans. It's actually Doctor Who fans. See, they're very protective of Elizabeth Sladen. And tomorrow week's watch along, whether people realize it now or not, is going to be highly emotional because who has the last scene basically in that Journey's End episode? It's Sarah Jane walking off with K9.
I hadn't remembered. Oh, that's wonderful.
So, I mean, you know what I mean? So, this only hit me today. I mean, that's the last scene that we're going to see. So, this whole thing that's happening before it is going to be very nice. And you never know. We don't know because we haven't been given too much detail. But this could be the first time that we hear Sadie Miller, because she could be reading it in Sarah Jane's voice. We don't know.
Exactly. So this is actually going to be a fantastic ad for that Lost Adventure, or it's going to kill it.
I was going to say though, didn't Matt Smith make an appearance on the Sarah Jane Adventures?
Yes,
he did. He did. I haven't watched it, but I've watched that clip on YouTube.
That's about all I've seen of it.
What's her name is there as well? Kathy Manning is there.
Oh, yeah.
And, what's her face? The other companion. Is it Susan? Is it Susan? Or is it the other? I think is it Susan? I think Susan's in it as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I know Kathy Manning is in it. All right.
Man, sorry, I just got some very good news. Well, good news to me. It's for the last few weeks, because of the lockdown, we've Jews, religious Jews, they do their 3 prayer services a day. They're like the Muslims, but less. Yeah.
Right.
But like, so they closed down the synagogues like a month or so ago because obviously the situation. But then what we were doing is we're getting into small groups. We actually need a group of 10 to do it, and we're doing it outside. But keeping 2 meters distance. But then they prohibited that for like the last 3 weeks, and that prohibitation's been just been lifted. So that's really exciting. I mean, things are getting back to normal again over here. So if it happens here, I guess you guys aren't far behind now, because we're a little.
I don't know. I think everybody is jumping the gun too quick on this. This whole, I mean, the WHO has come out even today and saying this whole herd mentality that everybody has, that just let everybody get it. Yeah, there's a big flaw in that. People are going to be walking around that don't realize that they have underlying medical conditions, and then all of a sudden going to die. So more people are going to die unnecessarily. Also, young people are dying of this, whether people believe it or not. Young people are dying. We don't know why. So these restrictions being lifted, I'm sorry. I know people are annoyed now because they're 3-4 weeks down into lockdown and everybody's nerves are getting a bit, and now everybody wants to get out. Is it really worth taking the risk on human life? I don't think so. I'm sorry. And yes, I wouldn't believe everything that they say.
Get outdoors and meet
the virus and walk around. No, I'm sorry. Right?
Honestly, I think being outdoors with like a group of no more than 10, and you can't be more than 2 meters apart, close. I think you're probably okay. See, I think where they are is they had the projection where we're supposed to have like 10,000 dead, I think, here in Israel by now. And we've got like
Rabbi, here's the thing, right? That might work in Israel, right? But if you're living in Ireland and you see what's happening in America.
We were good.
I'm sorry,
we all hunkered down straight away. We were really good. It was great. Just like everybody was like, okay, fine, we're trying.
About this, we should have locked down straight away. All flights cancelled, but none of that was done.
It worked out well. But what happened was there was a Jewish holiday called Purim, where everybody gets drunk off their mind. This was like 2 months ago. And that's it. That's the point of the holiday. And so in New York, it went poof everywhere. Like they called it the Jew disease, because basically it was in New York. It was everywhere. So because of that holiday, but because of that, we all knew about it straight away. Total lockdown, like from about 6-8 weeks ago. But it was like 8 weeks ago now. So like it really
happens. I'm not moving. I don't care, even if my government say it's safe to move. I'm not moving. I'm not. I'm only going to go out when I have to go out, because I don't trust them right now. And I think even about Christmas. We won't have a Christmas, because that's how long we should be on lockdown for. We shouldn't even be going out. Next year is when I think we're all going to be safe from this. If
next year we're going to be in trouble for something else. Next year we'll be
with the social distancing.
Next year we'll be nostalgic for this.
I was going to say, we just got our first case out in Nebraska, or rural Nebraska. I'm in southwest Nebraska, so it's just starting to hit out here. But being a priest, I live on my own, so it's only me and my cat. So I'm going a little stir crazy right now.
So do you have a congregation?
I'm sorry?
You have a congregation?
I have 3 parishes.
Wow, that's really. So you have like. So how does it work? What's the people called underneath you?
It's Well, I have no staff. So let me just explain.
So you go between the parishes and you serve.
Yeah. So my first parish,
sorry.
the main parish is about 45 families.
Right.
And then the first mission's about 15 minutes from us, and that's about 25 families. And then the third mission's another 15 miles to the west, and that's about 50 or maybe 30 families.
Right. So what did everybody do for Easter? I'm sorry to derail that.
No.
For Easter.
I don't think I'm going to scandalize anybody by saying this, but Easter sucked.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I felt so bad for you guys. I
can imagine what it would be for you with Passover. I mean, as I told people, if this happened any other time of the year, I don't think it would be as bad.
Yeah,
right. Easter, this is the time of year that gets everybody. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, I was lucky. All my kids were home bar one. And we actually, their Passover it went really quickly as well, like really quickly, which is strange. But it was fine. It was fine. Like we're all, like we're all looking forward to getting back to our own spaces again. Hopefully in the next week.
Well, I will say the introvert part of me is almost exhausted.
Right.
Because
are you doing like lots of Zoom stuff?
I'm doing a lot. So we're doing. I'm streamlining my mass every day, and then on Sundays we've been doing what's known as a priest council. So it's like Friday night tights,
right?
But from the viewpoint of priests.
Oh,
so that's been very therapeutic for me.
Can I ask though? Because I've seen some, churches in Ireland and England, the UK do the same kind of thing, use technology now. And he says that there might, in England and Ireland, they're saying there might be a future for this kind of, priests and others doing sermons online. That a lot more people seem to watch online than actually go to church. Could that be the future for the...
No, not exactly. I mean, if you're healthy, if you're not like homebound, you still have the obligation to go to mass every Sunday.
Right.
And that community thing, that like bond you have as a community that does pray together, it's really magical, and it's so empowering. I think that's one of the great things about organized religion. Whatever it may be, everybody has their little group. We call them minyanim here in Israel. Whatever you call it. The Muslims have it. Everybody has their own little community. It's really nice.
See, I'm gonna stop streamlining the masses when we're free to go out in public again. Right. But I'll probably film my homily still. I mean, like I'm in my office right now. I'll film my homily from here.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's been neat is, so my parents live 10 hours from here. I grew up in Iowa. I'm on the other side of Nebraska, so it's a very far distance. So people from back home's been able to see my masses and my homilies and stuff I'm doing. That part I'm going to try to continue.
Yeah.
Right. But it's good. It's cool. I mean, listen, everything works out the way it's supposed to. The bottom line.
Don't get me wrong. I want this to be over tomorrow, but it's not going to be. And I think some people out there, as I said, I'm getting a bit restless as well. We're all getting a bit restless. We all hate being stuck indoors. It's human nature. We don't like being stuck indoors. But right now, this is the only thing that's keeping us from.
There's a question in the chat.
Look, I'm not afraid to say I don't want to die anytime soon. You know what I mean? I think I still can leave a mark on this world. I mightn't be big. People mightn't think it's anything, but I want to be able.
No, you actually do leave more of a mark on this world than most people have done. I don't think you don't really realize the impact of having the Tardis zone. It's incredible. I mean, if you stop and think about it, it's really incredible. Like 10 years ago, it would have been completely impossible. Like for one guy, in Dublin, from his bedroom to have all this, to have this broadcasting ability. But you really do. You have a big following for a reason. So it's not like. I'm sure the best is yet to come, but it's not like you haven't left the footprint yet.
Oh, actually, that's the other start. The rabbi actually had a bit of a conversation with a a supporter of. I'll be nice because father is here, so I'm gonna be respectful. I said it to the wife and all. I said, listen,
Hey, I put up with Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers.
Right, so I said I'm gonna be respectful, but Rabbi had a very interesting conversation anyway with someone that was a supporter of this era.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like being caught in a tractor beam.
Yeah, but several times Rabbi cornered this person, and then Rabbi says, "Listen, come on to the channel, let's have a chat." So when I seen that, I decided I would do the same thing. So I put up a little 40-second video, and we've invited people of this era to come on here and to tell us why they like it. It's a friendly debate like we're having now. Nothing I says you'd be treated well. Someone wrote in the comments, well, I can already see by the comments if anybody comes on that supports this era, they're going to be ridiculed. And I says, well, what's the comment?
They will. Yeah, 100%. We're going to make fun of you. Yeah, but everybody gets made fun of. Don't say
I said I get it every day, but I still do me thing. At the end of the day, look, it's an excuse after excuse after excuse. I would have more respect for them if they actually come on and fought their corner, but all they want to do is actually argue. So that video is still up. I've got over 32 comments on it, and not one person has taken me up on my offer. So I'm saying it again live now because I know a few of yous watch.
You know what I'm doing now? I'm writing to
Rabbi, and you can see Rabbi is fine as well, right? It's me and Rabbi, right? Two of you guys that support this era. Come on, we'll have a debate. You tell us why you like the show. We'll tell you why you are wrong. You will tell us why we're wrong. But we'll have a debate about it.
Right.
We'll all their cards out.
It actually sounds kind of fun.
Yes, but so the offer is there. So if two of you are brave enough to come on, and I can guarantee you that you will be treated with the same.
Really will treat. I promise. Okay, it might get heated, but we'll start now. Okay, we have the best of intentions. What could go wrong?
Look, it will be done with all the look. Everybody be treated the same way.
There's a question in the chat which is really directed to Father Miller.
I just answered it, I think. So it's basically.
I pray at home. Does that make me a bad Christian?
I'm sorry. So right now, as I tell my people, stay home, stay safe, as everybody's been saying, part of the problem is making sure that the church is cleaned from germs in the doors and all of that. So, no, I would say that if you're doing that right now, that's not bad. That's actually good. And one thing I've been trying to talk about is the idea of the home as a church where fathers and mothers are praying with their kids. So, but there was something else that came up. Sanctuary of Geeks, I just responded on the chat itself. How does my faith chime in with love of Doctor Who? And would I want the Doctor to meet Jesus? Well,
I'm sure. Well, I don't think in the TV show, but I'm sure if they met, they would get on very well.
What, Jesus and the Doctor?
Yeah, don't you think? Oh no, it's Father Miller's frozen. This is the time we really need you.
No, I'm here.
Okay. No,
but I'm glad to see this happen on my own chat. I wonder what.
I don't know, because the Doctor is a walking contradiction. So Jesus was.
But I'm
going to be out.
The only thing I would say is
what? Oh no!
No, it's grand. We'll get him back. We'll get him back.
Here we go.
Why? That happens on my own stream. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's because everybody is at home and using the internet now.
Right.
I was just going to say the problem that I would have is Russell T Davies, I think, is an atheist.
Although, you know what? He thinks he is. He is. But like the end of the Freeman Ackerman season, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just afraid of how that might play in.
That was the definition of what prayer is. It was incredible. See, that's why I think he's a fantastic writer. He channels truth. His work is just so honest and truthful. And so I think he was conveying a spiritual truth, which is something that really is true without even realizing it. So yeah, he's an atheist. He thinks he is.
But I do want to see if I can get my camera to show you something that's treasured in my office. This is going to be a little weird. So off to the distance, you see Tom Baker?
Oh yeah.
That's autographed.
Oh, very nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
So right next to Jesus, I have Tom Baker.
So yeah, listen again. My knowledge of the scriptures is shaky, as I'm sure you would understand. But from my understanding of the character of Jesus, like his personality, I think they're both very, very similar, and they're both like I can't imagine what incarnation will get on badly. I think Jesus will get on very well. Okay, there. Which incarnation would Jesus get on the best with? I'm going to say Tom Baker and Matt Smith. And maybe
I was going to say
David Tennant. I'm going to say they're the best three for Jesus. What would you say?
Well, I was just going to say Matthew Burrows said that the Doctor Who universe is an atheist universe. I'm just glad we don't. I'm glad we don't have to cross that bridge.
Yeah, I think he's right.
I mean, that's the way I've always approached the show. I mean, I don't look at it for religion or anything. I grew up watching Doctor Who. I mean, as I was telling a priest friend back home, PBS, the American version of BBC or whatever it is, I think it is, used to have Friday night Doctor Who episodes. It would be the whole story arc. And that's what I watched as a kid. I mean, you spend no school on Saturday, you stay up to about midnight and watch the whole episode of Doctor Who. Yeah, and the one that I remember the most.
That's how great Doctor Who is. We got somebody who's like an agnostic, a Christian, and a Jew, and we're both full on what we all are, which has some like major contradictions in our worldview, and yet Doctor Who, right? It's the thing that brings us all together.
Brings us all together. I know what I was going to say. Actually, it is actually weird that we actually, we might have different beliefs when it comes to religion, but when it comes to one thing brings us together, and that is.
You see, and I'm not here for religion. I mean, I'm here for Doctor Who.
So he's right. Let's bring it back to Doctor Who. So, Miller, what do you think? Rabbi, I was asking you anyway. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it'd be good? Do you think she'd be okay? Do you think
we'll find out tomorrow? It's all down to if a performance makes us think she's Sarah Jane.
Someone in the comments actually did say that there was a trailer. There was a trailer of this.
There is a trailer? Oh, let's pull
see that.
So if there is, unfortunately, I won't be able to play it on the channel because of copyright. But I heard there's someone in the comments earlier on. Whoever said that in the comments earlier on, can you tell us the name of the trailer and we'll get Rabbi.
I'm going on the Doctor Who channel right now. There's no trailer for up yet.
For the big finish.
Right. They got two clips from Aliens in London. So nobody tell Jason. Don't go on this.
Yeah, forgot, yeah.
Oh, we got to be getting back. I want to get him back. But now the worst is over. Come on, we're going to basically agree.
Yeah, actually, this whole watch along that we're doing throws off air one that we're doing every Sunday.
Right. We'll have
to double up.
It during the week.
Yeah, we'll do a double up. We will. But we're starting off with Turn Left. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about this tweet along that's coming tomorrow. But the one thing that struck me is how the fandom has reacted. Now, we have seen during Series 11 and 12 how the fandom has actually reacted to this era. And then you see the reaction to these tweet alongs. It's actually quite startling, to be honest with you. I don't know how BBC can actually sit there and say that this current era is actually successful when you see I don't know if you've actually seen the Origins trailer. I mean, the Origins trailer BBC threw up, but has now the BBC official YouTube channel has 8 million subscribers, right? Now, this trailer only has about, I don't know how many views it actually has, but the like ratio, 1,300 and something like ratio, and there's over 4,000 people that have disliked this trailer, but yet they keep throwing this out. Oh, by the way, BBC, also David Bradley's birthday. By the way, you have a couple of people that played the Doctor's birthday. So David Tennant's birthday was this week. Obviously, David Bradley's birthday
He's
was
49.
Who else had we got? We had Peter Capaldi's
Capaldi.
birthday this week. I'm forgetting someone. There's someone else's birthday.
Jackie.
Who?
Jackie.
That's it. It was her birthday. Also, there's someone else. I'm forgetting. I just read it today. There was someone else's birthday, and they were important as well. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. Oh. Well, anyway, happy birthday to them all. But here's something I wanted to tell you. Yeah. So Gallifrey Base, as you know, that place that Bowstretch will never name. I don't give a crap. I named them anyway. But anyway, Gallifrey Base are there's a couple of threads on Gallifrey Base. Apparently, Sarah Jane. Now, I didn't know this. Now, maybe you will be able to explain to me because I never knew this about Sarah Jane. But apparently, in Classic Who, there was indications to suggest that Sarah Jane was a lesbian.
No, there wasn't.
According to these
no, there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
Now, I've been sent a couple of screenshots. Now, unfortunately, I haven't edited them, so I can't put them up. But someone that's in the chat now sent me the actual thread. And these people are insane. Right? Now, listen.
What, she wore flat shoes occasionally? Really? Like what are they on?
Didn't she not? Was she not? I mean, look. This madness is gone too far. I'm sorry, it's gone too far. Sarah Jane, right, whether you like it or not, was not a lesbian. Right? Now, do we have problem with lesbians being in Doctor Who? We've had plenty. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Do we have problem with bisexual people, gay people, anybody? No. Right? The problem that we have is that Chris Chibnall shoehorns them into his era. Right? He doesn't even give them the respect and a decent character arc. You know what I mean? It's like Resolution, and I keep bringing up Resolution because it's the most perfect example. Right? There's a security guard or wherever the guy's name is. They even have a bleeding Facebook page. Justice for wherever his name is. I don't give a crap, right? Because do you know why I don't give a crap? Because Chris Chibnall didn't make me feel anything for this character. He basically came out onto the screen and said, listen, I have a boyfriend and a Darla killed him. That was it. He got literally 20 seconds on the screen, right? This is what we have a problem with. It's the same when he's there, when Graham was speaking to the doctor about their cancer, the worries, the way the doctor dismissed it as social awkwardness, right? The whole thread where Yaz is supposed to be bullied was unbelievable because we didn't get any backstory except for little conversations that she had with Ryan. And
am I reading this right, saying that she was bullied because she was a Muslim living in Yorkshire? Like, yes. Yorkshire is mostly freaking Muslim. Are they out there blind? They haven't been north of Watford. What the hell is wrong with them?
This is what I want to say. But this is why we have a problem, right? It's not that we have a problem with any of these characters being put into Doctor Who. It's the fact that they're not given the respect and the proper screen time that other characters, stray characters, or whatever you want to call them, are on the screen. You have to have a balance, and there is no balance, and you just keep shoehorning them in. Sure, he brought Captain Jack back as well, just for that thing, because Captain Jack or something is pansexual, 50th century man or whatever it was, just to bring him in, just to have another.
Just be clear, the only reason in story terms why they brought him back is to show the Doctor being unbelievably stupid.
I know.
That's the only function he serves in terms of the story.
So imagine bringing them back, right, to actually say, beware of the lone Cyberman. Don't give what he give him.
Whatever you do not do the one thing.
Later, she gives them what he wants, and then the universe is completely. Actually, that's what I wanted to bring you on for, Father.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to think of something better. And what happens? Because she does it, the entirety of humanity gets destroyed. That's what happened in this script.
Right, hold on. Here, listen,
Breathe.
because Father Chris it's his first time on the panel, I actually want to get his opinion on series 11 and 12. And I actually want to ask you, which one did you think was the one
I'll
that
be honest.
most damage?
I didn't watch season 11.
Right.
Oh.
And I only picked up halfway through season 12.
Oh, so bad.
Well, and I actually, so I got a VPN, so that allowed me to get onto the BBC iPlayer,
right?
Because I don't get BBC America over here, and I don't want to bump up my cable plan. I ended up hate watching the last half of season 12 and hated it.
Yeah, too. Listen,
I mean, I'm still angry.
Are you having trouble getting anything you want to watch? Let me know. I have a Google Drive. Anybody's on the panels, I put stuff up there. We could I put up all the animated stories. That's why.
Yeah, I watched the Moon Base. Didn't you send me the Moon Base?
Yeah, I sent you. Yeah. I got to start sending you There's a couple of Hartnell ones.
Yeah. See, and the thing that I'm really upset, I just bought the David Tennant complete series on Blu-ray. Yeah. So it has everything, including the specials, and it has that awful logo on it.
I know. If you want, I got to get a DVD case for it. It's like about how many?
I have a few of those already on the on DVD. But the thing that drives me nuts is the Jody bots are saying, "Well, this is the new logo and everything," but Classic Who had their logo back then.
No, they used to put Classic. Here, one second. Let me find you this thing.
I mean, they didn't put the David Tennant Fire logo on like Tom Baker's.
I know, you're right. And their excuse is it's a money. BBC's excuse is, well, it's a money saving tactic. Instead of having to print out, they can just basically use. But it makes no
branding. It's branding.
But the saving, redeeming thing of the Blu-ray is the menus are the original.
Yes. Yeah. I just got to say it's a good set. It's cheap.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So listen, I have to get around to making them, but this is what I did for the classic one. I made that's the label I made for it, which to replace the accursed Jody label.
See, the one thing I gotta watch, I might watch it tonight.
I don't like that one.
Exactly. So
that logo's it's just the logo. It's the logo that throws it all off. I mean, he just made a point of that. Look, we know what that logo is, right? It's not just
we want to.
He had to make that logo political as well. They're just at BBC right now are just they're either clueless or they're just not going to listen. But here's the thing, right? They're so stupid. They're the BBC. I'm sorry, I have to say this, right? Because it was David Bradley's birthday. Now, as you all know, he played the Fourth Doctor, and he also played William Hartnell, obviously, in an adventure in space and time.
He played the Fourth Doctor?
The Fourth Doctor.
The first. Sorry.
It's the Irish. It's the Irish
accent.
The Fourth Doctor. So
he was the third actor to play the First Doctor.
Yeah. So it was his birthday, right? But the BBC official, oh my God, they're just so clueless.
I saw that.
Yeah, what they basically acknowledged the fact that David Bradley had played the first incarnation. They even say the first incarnation.
The original.
The original, you might say. They contradicted themselves. So I actually wrote up a post. Now, it might sound a bit, but I turned around and said, BBC, typical, they can't make up their mind. Is it a black girl or not? You give it and then you take it away, because the Doctor, is the Doctor. We seen it the Timeless Children. So, what is it? Are you backing Chris Chibnall, or are you now all of a sudden thinking this is not a good idea? If it's not a good idea, well, then the next announcement BBC need to be making is not another tweet along. It's basically Chris Chibnall is going to be replaced by so and so, and then we can all rejoice. And then we can all celebrate. And then Doctor Who then hopefully, I'm kidding myself, because BBC still have the politics. I don't even know why we think by replacing Chris Chibnall. I was only thinking this actually the other day. It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what.
Get someone else in, that'll be the same.
Yeah, no. There's one real difference. It's that Chris Chibnall's a terrible writer. On top of being a politically correct hack and like using the show as a platform for his partisan, insane ideology, right? Yeah. Apart from that, he's also a terrible writer. Like, you know, he can't write.
He is actually. Yeah.
If you're gonna have an insane partisan hack that uses the show as a platform for propaganda, can we have a decent story with it, please? No. I like, for God's sake, just write bloody Doctor Who. You know,
I had a problem with part of season 9, especially with Hellbent, where you have the Time Lord General regenerated into a black woman, and then like, how do you put up with that ego? And I mean, it just was like a lot of the SJW stuff was creeping in.
Really, 100%. Yeah, I think it's when I watch it, I'm able to edit those moments. There's a few moments of real cringe, of real genuine cringe, and I'm just able to like edit them out because I'm enjoying the rest of it. But I think with the Chibnall stuff, there's no moment I'm going, oh, I'm enjoying this. There's no moment where I'm going, oh, this is great. I love this style. I love that. I just hate every second of it. You know, so there's nothing to like forget. I mean, I'm looking for things I like hate the least in an episode.
If they didn't have just something, I don't want to bring it into religion or that, but
okay.
But I want to ask this question because, you know, as a priest, it must be very difficult for you. I mean, especially watching Doctor Who, to hate something that you've grown up to love, and now all of a sudden, like, you have this hate towards. As a priest, I'm just asking, do you feel conflicted sometimes, or do you think, no, I'm right, what I'm seeing there is not good enough, so I have every right? Do you justify it to yourself?
I absolutely hate what they've done to the show that I grew up with. That was one of my favorite shows of all time. I am upset with the fact that when I see the new logo on classic stuff, that my mind is brought back to Jodie.
Yeah.
See, I actually enjoyed Misty. And if they didn't have all this, let's have a woman doctor type drum stuff. And I remember they were trying to hopefully have a woman doctor before Capaldi. I mean, if they didn't, I'm just trying to think of how to say it. It's like, I don't know, if they had a woman doctor maybe 20, 30 years ago, that'd be different, but it just seems like it's caught up in all this political bull.
Mm.
Right, you know.
And again, Missy was awesome. I like Missy.
So passe by the time they did it, and they thought they're storming the beach of the Normandy, and it was so passe.
Well, and I mean, you look at the promo where she breaks the glass ceiling.
I know, that was so. I know. Listen, when I seen that, right? I mean, the trailer didn't get. When we seen the very first trailer with Bradley Watts sitting in the cafe and all, and it looked like the Flash effects and all this, so I was like, it's bad, right? But when I seen that breaking the glass ceiling trailer and she goes whoops, I was like, that's it. It's game over. It was game over.
I saw
it. It was game over right there. It was gone as soon as that little teaser happened. We should have not. Well, we did know, but the rest of the fandom should have known what was to come.
I was one of the rest of the fandom. I didn't know. I thought, oh, that was cute. I didn't realize that was going to be what it was.
Right. Okay. Right. You've actually, like, you know, it's been gradual, you not liking this series.
Yeah. Okay. Episode 1, Woman Who Fell to Earth. I'm like, well, that's okay. Nothing bad. Everything seems to be on track. I can't see anything wrong in it. I'm okay. The villain was a bit weak, but okay, fine. I'm interested. And the second week, I even preferred. I liked it. I thought there was like 30 seconds at the beginning when she acted like the Doctor when they're trying to jettison part of the spaceship. I liked all that episode. Then we went into Rose, and I'm like, okay, this is a very special episode. I can live with it. Okay, I can live with it. And then I even gave him a pass on Arachnids in the UK.
No way. No way.
I said to myself, they're a new production team. They can screw up. I can give them one. It's okay. I'm going, and I was still there for him. I was like,
so hang on, what was your breaking point? If it wasn't Rosa or Arachnids, what was your breaking point?
I'm telling you, I'm not even there. My breaking point was Orphan 55. Incredibly, that's how much it took me to crush the love of Doctor Who out of me.
So you're telling me Series 12?
No, okay, so then we're into the Sunungra conundrum. I was like, oh, this is boring crap. Oh God, I hate this. And I was like, oh, but maybe you could pick up. And it just went. It went on that trajectory from there to yeah. I was like, every week it was either boring or preaching. And so by the time, and then you weren't allowed to talk about it. If you talk about it in public, you're like, you're not conforming.
See, the way that I've been approaching it, are you familiar with the movie The Room?
The Room, yeah, oh yes, I am familiar with it.
One of the worst movies ever made. It's so bad, it's good. That's kind of the way that I've been approaching Doctor Who.
I know The Room very well. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I've been actually enjoying the crappiness of it. I'm no longer enjoying Doctor Who for good sci-fi, but... Sorry?
Did you see The Disaster Artist, the movie that made
it? Yeah, I read the book too.
Oh, so funny.
The book is actually, if you get the audiobook, it's read by the, whatever his name is, the one that wrote it.
Yeah, I got to, anything he says I want to hear. He's a very fascinating guy.
Yeah.
I bet he's made his money back in that movie now, though.
By the way.
Yeah.
He sold that movie relentlessly. God bless him.
Now, the one that you should try is the Mystery Science Theater riff tracks. They have a commentary to play over it.
They have that. I was going to find. I got to find.
Oh, it's worth it.
Okay, yeah. I'll definitely check that out. Hey, what's it? I just saw they released. Is it out yet? They just released Susan's War from Big Finish. That looks interesting.
Oh.
Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Susan though. I never was really, even when she was sitting in the Hartnells. I don't know. Her fake falling just kind of.
The idea of it is they had a short trips where it was Paul McGann and he meets up with Susan, who's like Susan's had this really shaky relationship. It's played by Carol Ann Ford with Paul McGann. He met him again on Earth. Like 20 years after the Dalek invasion of Earth, when she was living there. She got to know his son. The Daleks reinvaded. Her son got killed. So there's all this animosity. So they had this one that's supposed to be like the final Susan episode, where they're in a timeline, where Susan, she gets the Eighth Doctor comes to see her and says, you're going to get your call-up papers for the Time War. Please don't go. And she gets the papers and she does it's the reverse of when she's like locked out the TARDIS. Because she locked him out the TARDIS, so good. She takes the papers and she goes off to war, and that's supposed to be the end. And they said, "Oh, let's do a series from that." So they just released that series called Susan's War, and it's got Paul McGann's in it, and what's it again? The guy who played what's it called again? What's his name? Really lost my name. William Russell played. Okay. Well, now I'm looking on the website to see. It makes me crazy. William Russell, Manchester. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. Okay, they got Ian in it. It's got like an intro. Lots of Daleks. A return to the what's it called again? The Sensorites. That comes out this week.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to check that out.
Okay.
We will have to check that out.
What else is going on?
Yeah, there was other news that I had there. What was it? And I think we might have another guest joining us as well. Hold on.
Oh, cool.
I think, yeah. Ballstrek was gonna try make it. Unfortunately, he's actually stuck. He's got to do a few, because the queues in the shops and stuff. So, unfortunately, he doesn't think he's going to be able to make it tonight, which is a shame because it's been a while since we had him on, but I'm sure he'll
work.
Right, I have to send someone a link now. Hold on, we've got another guest coming on. I always have a couple of guests anyway in mind, so I'm just gonna send the other link. But yeah, so Father, just yeah. So you didn't, you watched halfway through. So what was the episode? I mean, I mean, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the whole? Because I've noticed the J-Bot fans, they don't seem to bring this up, or they kind of
they don't have a sense of humor.
But, yeah, that's true. But I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the fact that the Time Lords are now founded? The foundation of the Time Lords, it's now law that the foundation of the Time Lords came about because a Gallifreyan woman murdered and experimented on a child.
Pure, unadulterated garbage.
And I mean, they never bring it up, right? They never bring it up.
I am not accepting that. I'm never going to accept that as canon.
Law if we accept it as law, right?
I mean, the idea that this child has two hearts like the Galileans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's garbage.
It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Not? It actually doesn't. The whole thing doesn't. But then they'll throw other things at you to kind of distract you.
And as you probably saw that comment that I posted on Twitter this morning, if they're going to have Jodie do the doctor stay-at-home bits as the doctor, well then, as the doctor, she should be able to find a cure.
Oh, this doctor couldn't.
Well, she did in Praxis.
Oh, God.
She did in Praxis. Why can't she do it now?
Doctor, he could break her down for you. Go on, Rab Boy. We might as well let you go on your little rant. Go on, tell Father Chris Miller why you think Jodie Whittaker is so incompetent. Give the examples. Go on.
Oh my God, how many do you need? Okay,
I think 12 episodes.
The entire human race annihilated because of her intense incompetence for not listening to the one simple ruling. Somebody broke the laws of time and space, ripped the causality out of reality to step through time and give you one important message saying, don't do that thing. Don't do it. Even if you really want to do it, don't do it. It's going to get everybody killed. And she did it. And it got everybody killed.
Well, what was it? David Tennant broke the law of time and space with the Waters of Mars.
Yeah, but then she shot herself and he realized he was out of line.
Yeah, he realized what he had done. Yeah, right. But that would have been. I would have loved them to carry that on for a while. Though that little
she's a buffoon. You know, before she started, I thought, oh yeah, of course a woman can play the Doctor, no problem. She's essentially proved they can't.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Oh, there's Marty with his scrunch face, Jodie Whittaker. I knew you were going to do something like that.
That is a great avatar.
I knew you do something like that. How are you?
Oh, it's better. You get used to looking at the four walls now. You can't really go outside.
That's it. Do you know what, though? I mean, going back to that whole thing where we all have to be at home and stuff, and I know people right now are getting a little bit agitated and just want to look at. Trust me, I want to burst through my hall door. I actually, Father, no offense or anything, right? So don't take this the wrong way, but I really want to strip off naked and just run through the whole streets of Dublin.
I told one of the priests. I told one of the priests when this thing is over. When this thing is over, we need to have one hell of a party.
That's true. But I just want to say, on behalf of the people of Dublin, could you not do that?
No problem.
I actually want to go to Dublin. It's on my list.
Was it when you sent me your address? I looked it up on Google Maps to make sure it's real. I didn't take it down wrong, and so I did a whole street view of where you live. So now I know where you live. It's really cool.
Oh, thanks. So you're spying on me now.
I didn't know which house you lived in. But
you want to know? Oh my God! You see that?
You're not saying
that from the rabbi. Never heard that from the rabbi. So, Marty, listen. I wanted to bring you on because obviously you've been having a few little problems on Gallifrey base, and obviously we mentioned that thread a few minutes ago on the channel. So just to give people a kind of a rundown of what these lunatics are saying. So basically, what you're saying is that they're basically trying to imply that Sarah Jane Smith was basically lesbian.
Yep. I've seen that. That was on Twitter. I've seen that. But yeah, they're basing it off the outfit she wore in the Ark in Space. I think was it the red stripy dungarees she was wearing,
Oh,
and this part, yeah, basically, on what she's wearing, and they
Martin, can I ask
said,
you a question? Did
"Hey,
she put on red stripy dungarees because she's a lesbian, or did putting on the red stripy dungarees make her into a lesbian?
listen, how the hell could she be a lesbian when, like, this person was arguing, oh, in chronological terms, Phil Collinson said at a convention that he always thought that she was lesbian, but sure,
Well, hang on. Did he just say that? Did he say this at a convention or something? Because listen, this is what these J-bots don't understand, right? Listen, I have to explain something to these are little tiny little minds, right? Because you obviously can't, you aren't educated enough because you are being brainwashed, right? So you aren't clever enough to figure these things out. When someone says something like that in passing at a convention, doesn't make it canon, you idiot. Unless
yeah.
it's actually in the show itself and written within the show. Well, then it's canon, and we can't really say anything, you know. But
It's like saying Sarah Jane was a chartered accountant. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
But sure, she was getting married. She was getting married to a man in the Sarah Jane Adventures.
All right. Yeah.
I thought we weren't supposed to assume.
there you go. So I mean, look, again, these arguments. Marty has been doing the great thing and defending the whole lot of this, and he's been getting some stick off these people. Now, I obviously don't want to say too much, but I'm thinking of actually joining Gallifrey base because I think a few feathers on that site actually really need to be covered. I think there needs to be. Do you know what? I've said this. I think there needs to be a showdown once and for all. Gallifrey base and other threads like it have been going around and basically they've been doxing fans, they've been abusing fans, they've been doing terrible stuff, right? It's about time that they were held account for what they've been doing, but also it's about time that our side of the argument actually started to argue our point because we do a lot of moaning on this side, but what action have we really taken? Yes, the last few months, this fandom has been absolutely fantastic, and hats off to you. You have made the BBC sit up and take notice, and they have because they've rolled out Moffat, they've rolled out RTD, they've rolled out Chris Chibnall himself, Matt Strevens, all these people.
They rolled out a legitimate
party line, right? So you've done a great job, right? But here's the next part now, right? We've got to take them on in their arguments, right? They've made certain arguments of why this whole timeless children's story arc works. We know why it doesn't. But the problem is we don't tell the other side that much, and we don't do enough videos on it or enough articles and stuff. Now, Rabbi is working on something behind the scenes. Actually, we haven't spoke about it, but Rabbi is actually working on it, and it's going to be another tool for us all to use, everybody on this side to use to get our points of view across, right? For those YouTubers that want to do videos to dismiss all these arguments and actually lay it out bare and show, or if there's people that would rather write an article to prove why all of this doesn't work, then that's what we're looking for. That's what we want to do in time for when the Christmas special comes along. We are ready to take this other side on once and for all, because I'm sick of these people, a small minority of fans, they're not even fans, a small minority that come into this fandom late, took over this fandom, threw it on its head. It's split now. It's split into different factions, right? We're down each other's throats all the time, and I've personally had enough, right? This is the final time I'm getting involved. I'm going to do this, right? And after series, if he's still here after series 13, I am finished with Doctor Who for the foreseeable future. I will never watch New Who again. I am done. That man made me cry. on this panel, timeless children, I broke down on this panel, right? That's what that man has done to me. I cannot forgive that. I'm sorry, I can't. He has totally disrespected not only William Hartnell, but every other doctor, including his own doctor. He made such a big deal of her being the first female doctor, and then he goes and retcons his own bloody creation because it's now a little girl who happens to be abandoned and who happens to be a refugee, obviously, if you look at her that way. And to hammer home the point even further, she wasn't a white girl, she was a black girl. And then when we see then when her so-called carer is experimenting on her, then she changes to different races. I mean, it is so obvious. And you know what these people still say? Oh, Chris Chibnall doesn't have an agenda. BBC doesn't have an agenda. You're just a racist piece of.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Father. I nearly.
No, I'm thinking the same thing.
But this is what I'm like. But we're not. All we wanted here. This is look at. Nobody wanted to know. And I know as a doctor who, and I can already tell. I don't even have to ask Father, Rabbi, and Marty, but I will. But I already know that we do not want to know how the Time Lords came about. That part of it, we've always been happy with the little snippets that we've gotten, right? We don't want to know the whole history of them. But this what you're calling, this is the foundation of the Time Lords now, torturing the experimentation and the murder of the child. And these J-bots don't bring that up. Well, I'm sorry, you aren't getting away with that one. You've explained to me, and I want to know why you are okay with that, because any normal person would think that was sick and perverted.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even like it.
Ourselves, I'd actually question what kind of parents you are, because if you are okay with this and comfortable with that, because that's what he has done. Now, I'm saying it in blunt terms, but that's exactly what that woman did. She experimented and murdered that child several times, so that child had to regenerate, right? Just to get the power, because she wanted that power, because she wanted to live forever, basically. Right, regenerate after she died, and that's the foundation of the Time Lords. And you are okay with that? You aren't fans if you are okay with that.
No, I'm writing to Piers Wenger to invite him to come on. Wouldn't it be wonderful if he does?
Oh, you know what? I'd love it. Do you know what? I've even invited Chris Chibnall on. There's no way people will come on. So Paul Cornell blocked me. He asked an opinion about the Timeless Children. I gave it. It actually wasn't anything bad. And you know me, I'm pretty militant, but I knew because it was a Doctor Who writer, I was respectful. He's one of my favourite writers, Family of Blood, Human Nature, to just name a few of these episodes, are my favourite bloody episodes. And then for him to block me because he didn't like my opinion, well, then don't ask the question in the first place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you don't like what a fan has to say that's been watching the show for as long as I have, well, then don't ask the question, mate, because you're not going to like what you hear. And the BBC as well, you can ignore the fans for as long as you think you can. But right now, this fandom has had enough, and it's not just the fans; it's the public as well. It's the general audience that have watched as well. 68% in the UK. I know in America the numbers have completely flopped. Right? I don't know how BBC America can even say that this is still a success. It's not. Everything indicates there's still YouTubers out there defending this. Well, I'm sorry. This time now, these next couple of months now, we're going to destroy your arguments once and for all. You will not have a leg to stand on by the time we're finished. We are going to put all the resources in that we have, all the YouTubers, all those people that love writing. We are going to dismantle every single plot thread that he created during that Timeless Child, and we are going to smash it. You're not going to have a leg to stand on. And then you won't, and we'll also address the ratings as well, because I know a few of you YouTubers out there are still defending the ratings, saying they're still better than Peter Capaldi's. You are living on cloud nine, or you are on some sort of hallucinogenic, because those ratings are not higher than Peter Capaldi's now. That may have been the case for Series 11, even though I still dispute that, but I'll give you that. But for Series 12, definitely not. Another excuse as well is it's in the graveyard slot. Well, Peter Capaldi struggled through a
It's not in the graveyard slot. That is an utter lie.
That's what somebody said to me in Yellow Base.
It's one excuse after another. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant there. Let the rest of you go ahead.
Slot. It's not a graveyard slot at all.
No.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said they must be on some insane hallucinogenic.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was an incredible narcotic? Just an incredible narcotic. Gave you the greatest high ever and made it so you enjoyed Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who.
I wouldn't take it. No. I wouldn't put myself through that. Listen for a minute. I wouldn't even if I had any more kids, I wouldn't even let my kids watch this.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Right? Because it's not just that. It's not the type of thing that if I want to teach my kids about the world, I'm their father, right? They've got a mother. That's our job. It shouldn't be left to Doctor Who to educate our kids anyway. You know what I mean? Doctor Who originally did start as that, but as soon as the Daleks came along, it became more sci-fi, and it continued that way. We did get the odd historical story here and there, and we did get the political stories. But again, back in the day, they were done within the context of the show, and they showed a balanced view, right? Now we're not getting a balanced view. Everything's just being hammered over our heads. Well, you've got to accept this, bang, 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 climate change is blah, blah, blah. But we'll fly all over the world and film this series. You know, the hypocrisy. Then they tell us about the dangers of plastic, but yet most of their merchandise is made of plastic. This is the hypocrisy of the BBC. So,
some of it was there before Jodie, though. I'm thinking of the Forest of the Trees or whatever that thing is.
Oh, that was such a bad episode.
So, I mean, that's the thing where, I mean, like around season 9, it's just starting to, it's like, for me, it's kind of getting to the breaking point.
Yeah.
It's seen,
yeah. Well, that's season 8 or season 9? Forest of the... That was season 8.
Danny Pink? Was Danny Pink not in Series 9?
No.
No, he was Series 8 and then he got killed at the end of it.
Oh, Series 8. So you are right. It is Series 8. Yeah.
I was just going to read this tweet out here, or the post in Gallifrey Base, you know. So there's a forum on it it's called "Who do you think is the most likely candidate to succeed Chibnall as showrunner?"
Right.
And it sort of steered off into like ideas for the show, and I put up some ideas about what they could do. They could, you know, all these options that are open to the BBC, like, you know, they could reboot it, they could take it they could send it out to a different production company, they could turn it into a film series. And somebody wrote back, all these ideas are dreadful. And then I replied and I says, what would you suggest then? And this guy comes back and says, I suggest no changes at all. The BBC does not have to do any of the options you have suggested. As Lance's law applies, Doctor Who is not broken, so there is no need to fix it. So then I wrote back to him and I goes, may I remind you that is your opinion, in the same way the things I have stated are my opinion. The facts are the show isn't as popular as it used to be. Ratings are fallen. To many people, canon has been damaged, and the political messaging is less subtle than it used to be. The scripts, in my opinion, have been at best average. If a ratings decline isn't a sign that the BBC need to change something that I don't know what is, they can't just hold their hands over their ears and pretend everything is fine. It's not. And then the guy wrote back basically saying, oh, of course it's my opinion. What would be the point of this forum? Stop reminding me. And then basically said that the fact that this series is doing very well in the graveyard slot, it fits him. I can't see how it's doing well in the graveyard slot when both Call the Midwife and Country File before it were getting higher ratings than it. So
right. Did you get a reply to that one?
And then I was just going to read out the tweet, the Sarah Jane thing. I just got it up here in full. So the tweet goes, Sarah Jane Smith is a lesbian icon, and it's 2 photos from her in the dungarees. And then somebody wrote, it was the 1970s, they were all wearing dungarees back then, LOL. And this person wrote back and goes, doesn't make her any less of a lesbian. Then someone else wrote back, another J-bot goes, heteros are mad at this one. And then this person wrote back and goes, straight men are really that fragile. And then one person wrote back again and goes, she wasn't. And this person wrote back, goes, you are wrong.
See, this is the thing. But Marty, before you continue, this is the thing, right? This is all that matters to a J-Bot fan, is representation, and it matters to them that these characters, and even if they're not gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever it is, they ship them, right? They have to make them, right? They will not be satisfied, and this is the God honest truth. They will not be satisfied until every character in Doctor Who is LGBTQ plus whatever it is, right? That's what they want. They want the whole show of that. They want, but that's never going to happen. Unfortunately, you cannot squeeze that all into one show. And Doctor Who, it has always been the forefront when it's come to LGBTQ people. They've even had people working behind the scenes. Doctor Who has been very progressive. This is another thing that these J-Bots try to say, well, Doctor Who's racist because they pick out the few examples of episodes that they class might be racist. We had the whole recent thing on BritBox over the what's I can never say the episode,
the Talons of Weng Chiang.
Yeah, the Talons of I'm not even going to attempt to say it. But that, right? So now BritBox has to put a warning because the snowflakes all have to run to their safe spaces because they're all upset. Seriously, this world, I don't know what happened. I really don't.
I just said that,
and I'll just say one thing: if there, I don't know if Father realizes, but I don't believe in God. But if there is a God, I would say he'd be very disappointed looking down now that we've become a society of. Sorry to say it, but we've become a society of pussies. Where all our kids have to win medals. You can't have losers anymore. You can't build character in your children anymore. It's not allowed. You know, you can't behave a certain way if you're a man.
We're suffering from generations of terrible parenting. Like generations. Like we're on the third or fourth generation where terrible parenting was the norm. Yeah, with generations of it.
I don't think you can just blame parents on that, though. I think as a society as well, we have actually failed. There was warning signs, you know. I mean, when you had adults coming out, you know, it all changed, right? See, today's world society is very different. I mean, back in the day, we did that when we were kids and we were wrong. You know, your parents wouldn't hesitate giving you a beating. You know, it wasn't that, and like if you did that wrong, you got your clatters in the head or whatever. Nowadays, if you did that to a kid, now sure you're arrested, you're done for assault because your child can charge you. It's ridiculous. We've let these millennials get so much bloody power, and now they're out there, the adults now, they're the mouthpieces now. This is what happened. It's not just parents, it's society as well. We failed as a society. I don't think we can recover from this. I think the damage is done. These kids now are going to grow up, Remember, we're going to be old, and you see the way they treat us already, right? When we're screwed when we get older. When I'm 80 and 90, if I live that long, I'm screwed if I need to go into a nursing home. Because these people have no compassion. You see it. They call us the ones, but they're the ones that are giving us all the grief. Go ahead anyway. Sorry, I know.
A lot of people say millennials or could be the problem. Listen, I not to disagree with you or to throw you off what you're saying. No, I'm basically a millennial. I'm 20 years of age. I was brought up. I was one of 5 siblings. I was brought up in a Catholic household. I know what it's like. As you say about getting a beating, anytime when I was younger, if I done anything that I shouldn't have done, I got a beating. And looking back at it now, I bloody deserved it.
Yeah.
But this whole crack of just everybody has to, and there's always winners, and you know everybody's so protective of their children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I ever have children, they're not going to be like that. They're going to be brought up the way I was brought up, and they're not going to be brought up, to like obviously you have to move with the times and stuff, but at the same, this whole
you will teach your kids to be respectful, right? Like all parents should do, right? If you parent your child properly, you will teach your child good values. You will teach your child to be respectful of our elders and people that are older than you, and just have respect for everybody around you. If you want to be treated with respect, you treat those people. You treat the people the way you want to be treated, basically, right? That's all. It's as simple as bloody that, and it is as simple as that. If you bring your kids, look at you could do everything in your power to bring that kid up the right way, and it could still turn out to be a little. I won't say it because father's here.
Oh, I know.
A little right, but at the end of the day, at least you can hold your head up high and say you did your best. You didn't do a half job of it. You didn't leave it to the schools to educate your kids about sex and all this other rubbish, right? It's down to you. You're the parent. And what's happened is that because society, has changed, we have made it, that so parents don't have to do all the groundwork. And I firmly believe that it should be the parents that should be, influence their kids, should be the ones that teach their kids
this
right.
Could be
down to the
this
schools.
could be
Educate your kids, get them ready for the big bad world as well. But you do the personal stuff, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead, Father, anyway.
I was just going to say that could be the blessing of what we're going through right now, where kids are at home with their parents and they're seeing this. It's not the teacher's problem. So, but I have to get going. I got a thing at the top of the hour that I got to stream. So, thank you for having me.
No problem.
I do want to say
YouTube channel. I obviously did.
The Nerd Father.
The Nerd Father. Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, do a favor and throw that up in the live chat there, and we'll get everybody get subscribing to the Nerd
Father. I haven't subbed to you. I have to subscribe.
Yeah, it's I just started it about a month ago, right before this thing happened. But I just wanted to mention, for those that have Audible, there's a free selection that I highly recommend. Murder of Manatees, The Further Adventures of Tom Stranger. It's read by Adam Baldwin from Firefly. And it's the perfect sci-fi, anti-SJW, anti-PC thing, because one of the characters, Murder of Manatees, Tom Stranger, interdimensional insurance agent. But the thing that I love about it is the intern for the main character has a gender study degree, and they keep mocking that. So
that's funny.
So anyway, I gotta run again. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed being here.
No problem.
It's good to be able to get this off the chest.
Rabbi, tomorrow, if you're free for this whole tweet along, if you're free tomorrow, you could join myself and Rabbi.
Yeah.
No
I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Tomorrow in the church is a special day.
It's your busy day, right? You're working.
Well, not just that. It's Divine Mercy Sunday, so there's a few things that are going on for that.
No problem. Well, if you get the time, sure, you're more than welcome anyway.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate having you on.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You stay safe and keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, take care, guys.
You too.
Bye.
See you later, Father. And that was Father Chris Miller. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate that.
It was really nice meeting him. It was really nice meeting him.
Well, I have to be honest, that was very short notice. When he asked him today, he popped up on me feed, and I said, why not ask him on? It'll be fun to have a priest, a rabbi, and me.
Yeah, it really was.
So I enjoyed that actually. But getting back to this whole now that because I didn't want to put Father in any awkward position, asking his opinion on the whole Sarah Jane nonsense. But
I sort of go too far there with it.
No, you didn't. But what was going to be, but it is interesting. I mean, but just to get back to this, so the fact that she had these dungarees on, and we remember them very well. She did look like a bit of a clown, if you ask me. How you interpret that as being a lesbian, I don't know. But again, this is what I'll say. These are the same people that are only interested in one thing and one thing only, and that's representation. And they'll grab onto any old character By the way, just talking about that, I did see a few weeks back some disturbing art concerning Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith. Um,
Really?
all I'll say is it's short of porn art. Um, Now listen, look, I know that type of stuff does go around. You know, it's in
Really?
most fandoms, right? And sometimes I don't have a problem with it. But when you basically have her on a bed with other companions naked,
Okay,
and
okay. If you think about it, that's just okay. Okay? You're thinking about it, fine. But you keep it to yourself. You don't draw it, idiots.
yeah,
No, 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 no. Because women find that very creepy. You know why
I
they find
know.
it very creepy? Because it's very creepy. Don't draw that. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, and don't tell anybody you did it. This
I
is
just
very
don't.
good advice I'm giving it.
I just don't get these people. Listen, I get you that some of you feel like he's oppressed, like Sam Smith, who was in his mansion, a multimillionaire, crying because because he can't take it anymore. And then we have a 90-year-old
What
vet
can't take anymore? You
that
can't take
raised over 20 million UK pound. It's sickening, right? No offense, Marty, and I know you're a millennial, but you're like Daniel. You're one of the very few that's out there that actually has your feckin' head screwed on and actually do
Yeah, I have to
your
tell you, when you
generation
were
proud.
speaking,
No, what
I
I
had
say
no idea
that
you were
with
so young.
sincerity. You and Daniel do your generation proud, and you ought to be proud of that because a lot of your generation, unfortunately, are a bunch of bleeding safe space snowflake twats. And
They
Sam,
are.
unfortunately, is one of them. Now he's not
Well,
born.
I have to ask you, what percentage would you say are these like woke morons? Is it most of them? Is it some of them? How many? I like this your generation. What you would know better than me.
What was it? Sorry.
Like, what percentage of your generation are
Oh,
like
do you think
woke
are
twats?
lunatics? Is that what you're going to ask him?
Yeah,
I'd say a good 60% of the way of people I know who are like that.
that's
Wow.
a large number.
But you
That's a
know
Yeah.
what
large
strikes me
number.
is because Marty, you're part of that generation. Can I ask you? Maybe you'll be able to make us understand. Because to me, looking on it from the outside, it seems to me that your generation. Now, I'm not saying you, obviously, but that your generation seems to be very insecure. But not only that, your generation is probably one of the most spoiled as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have basically had everything handed to you. Now, I'm not saying you personally. I'm just saying in general, the generation, that the growing up, they've had it pretty easy. Do you think
Well,
there's some sort of self entitlement? Do you think that your generation believes that you know that they don't have to earn their place in this world, that they should just have it?
there is a lot of people who I know, I'm not friends with, but I know of that are like that.
Right.
There's a lad who his mother and father are his mother and father would be pretty wealthy. But instead of them making him go out and earn everything he got everything handed to him. On his 17th birthday, he got handed a car, and he's 21 now, being younger than me, and he's driving about in a BMW M4 worth nearly the guts of £40,000.
Wow.
And he doesn't work. He gets everything handed to him. Whatever he wants, he just has to snap his fingers and he has it. I know people who've talked to him and said that, oh, he was thinking of getting this, or he was thinking of getting that, or he wanted to go away on holiday. If he wanted it, he got it. You ever hear that song, Seven Rings by flipping what he called? Ariana Grande. I want it, I got it. That was him. Everything he got, he wanted. Everything he wanted, he got. Uh, and there's other people like that too that are the same, and that just don't. They don't. They would look down at you if you didn't have what they had. If you know what I mean,
Yeah.
if you weren't up to their standard, they would look down at you. Now, I'll not lie, like if you ever get speaking to some of my siblings, they tell you I was the one that was most spoiled out of the whole lot of them. Probably because I got a car for my when I passed the test. My dad bought me a car, and the rest of them were like bulls in a china shop when they found that out. But no, I just think there's a lot of people that are very triggered over stupid things. Like I know I've heard of stories of people my age getting into trouble for saying something on a night out, just messing about, just saying something that might be of like a rude nature that would like
There's no way I could have grown up in this age. I couldn't have done it. I'm a reasonably rude, dirty person. I take the piss a lot. Like I'll be weird. What the hell?
There's guys I know that have been reported to the police for saying a passing comment, which was just supposed to be like a funny comment, and have been not to court, but had to go and be interviewed because somebody has took it serious what they've meant. It's I think a lot of it's to do with social media.
Well, you know, I think I had a rabbi friend of mine who said that the society is the disease and the current pandemic is the cure, which I think might well be true.
You know what? That sounds a bit harsh, but you know what? I wouldn't disagree with that. To be honest with you, it does sound harsh, but you're right. I actually do.
I mean, it was in comic books. It that fever flushed the SJWs right out of it straight away. Like boom, it got.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
4 days.
I'm staying alive anyway, so like you know, if you're stupid enough to go out there and you get it, and
I'll just look at
pass away, and then I'm sorry at this stage now. I've gotten this hard. I've no sympathy for anybody right now if you break the social distancing rules. There's rules in place to save your life and to save the medical staff.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And if you're blatantly breaking those rules because you're selfish, because you want to look at, we're all in the same fucking boat, right? I understand where you're coming from. I truly do. I don't want to be stuck in door.
There's a lad who I know.
Okay, so
there's people who.
Just so you know how awful it was this past week. We have the Jews have a Sabbath where they don't go online. Nobody uses their phone, and they all have we have 2 big family meals together. Then we hang out a lot, and then read whatever. Have that. So it's okay when they're once a week, but they had an extra one this week in the middle because of this Jewish holiday. Right. And so when we came to this one, we're like, I just don't want to look at your face anymore. Because we've just been like each other's faces, like non-stop.
Oh, I tell you. But seriously, don't get me wrong, I feel like banging my head off the walls, man. Right? But I mean, look, I wanna live, right? I'm not afraid to say or ashamed. I don't want to die yet, right? As I said earlier on. Right? So I'm doing everything, I'm doing my bit. Right? Because I do have underlying medical conditions like Cheryl, we're doing our bit, right? We're not being selfish, we're staying indoors, right? Because as we said, we want to live. But this whole look, the WHO already came out, and anyway, whether you think they're corrupt or not, they are right about this whole herd mentality thing, right? That everybody wants to do. What the problem with that plan is, as I said earlier on, is those people that have underlying medical conditions that don't know that they have underlying medical conditions, then they die. And there's young people dying from this as well. They are not immune. This is a new virus and it's unpredictable. So in this case, for this one, it's wrong. You stay indoors.
It's just the bottom line. The social distancing works.
What?
The social distancing works.
It's working. Of course it's working. You look at the countries that have done it.
No one's loving it. It's a drag. It's a one-time happening in the history of our species. Just try and enjoy that you're in this like.
But I will say this: when this shit is over, I'm sorry, I was doing very well. I was, even though Father wasn't here, I was still keeping me mouth, but I've ruined it now.
That's your child.
The thing about it is, though, here's the thing, right? Fine, we get over this, right? Everybody, then we find out what the real damage is, right? We probably go into the millions, right? But we'll see anyway, right? But we'll see, right? Then we look at it. But I hope after this, then, that the finger starts pointing where the finger should be pointed, and that
Oh, absolutely.
there's things put in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again. By the way, might I actually add that in the same town where this virus originated from, or they suspect originated from, there's actually a second virus. Now, it's an old virus, but it's the Hana virus or something mad name like that. But that's rampant now. So, like,
right, because they open those bloody flesh markets again, right?
Well, they apparently now, according to Cheryl, apparently now the Chinese government is on the verge of making them all close down completely. For
you
good.
think? What the global pandemic didn't tip them off?
Yeah, well, if
Really, what more do they want to happen?
This is what I'm saying, and this is what I'm saying. This needs to be sorted because remember, this is not the first virus to come from this country. The difference is that this virus is gonna kill more, and it has.
And what happens when there's a genuinely deadly strain come from this disgusting practices they have?
I know.
It kills like 20%, 30%.
Not to take the whole thing into politics here, because I'm not going to go. I don't want to go too far into it, but obviously, stay at home. I'm listening to everything that the government's saying at the minute, but I don't trust the Tories one bit at all. At all. I mean, if you read online with what's going on at the minute, the nurses are having to start using single-use gowns again because they can't get them.
Yeah, that's true. There is a shortage, but come here, listen. I'm not.
There's a shocking shortage.
I'm just going to tell you all now that no world leader, no government, no health system around the world was prepared for this.
No.
The reason why they weren't prepared for it is because the Chinese government kept this under wraps for 2 months. Taiwan had alerted the World Health Organization 2 months before the rest of the world were told, and they were basically told to keep their mouth shut, right? So we're in this situation because this virus got a 2-month head start to spread everywhere. And in the meantime, people from China were leaving that country, people were flying into that country, and they were spreading the fucking virus everywhere. Most of the cases that we have in Ireland are in my capital city, Dublin, where I live. Right?
Yeah.
Like a shutdown 2 months earlier would have made all the difference.
Say that again.
A shutdown 2 months earlier would have made all the difference.
Exactly. We'd be coming out of this now. We'd be actually getting ready to come out of this. This
well,
is
the effects will be much less as well.
We're not getting out of this anytime soon. And even when the
I haven't heard about them.
My government come out and tell us it's okay to go out, I've already told Darren we're not going outside that door for at least another 6 months. What we'll do is we're doing the social distancing. I'll still go and get me shopping once a week, but I'm not going outside that door. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust the World Health Organization. I don't trust the Chinese numbers coming out. I don't trust the Americans. I don't trust them. No offense. I don't trust the UK government. I certainly don't trust my own fucking government. You know, these medical experts. By the way, the most startling thing about this whole thing when we first learned about it, when the media actually start talking about it, and then when we start getting the health experts coming out, the most startling thing about this was when the health experts were talking about it, they didn't automatically start thinking, well, we need to close down the world. It was like, well, we don't know. We have to wait and see. Oh, it's been rampant for 2 months. Now you're going to wait and see another month or two and let it spread even further. These idiots. Right? So I don't trust anybody. So me and Cheryl have already said, like, I'm not going, look, if Cheryl wants to start going out and doing her thing, that's fine. But I'm keeping myself isolated. I'm only going to go to the shop. Like what I've been doing. It doesn't bother me being isolated. Yes, it's doing me nothing. But I could still go down into the car park where it's still air because nobody's driving. I could still go down and get a bit of air, walk the dog or whatever. 10, 15 minutes. It does the trick. You know what I mean? I'm still getting a bit of exercise running up and down them feckin' stairs all bleeding day because I live in an apartment block. So, like, you know, I'm getting me exercise, but I don't trust any of them. So when they all tell you it's all right to go outside, I'm being honest with you. I wouldn't trust them for 1 second. I'd give it a few more months. I would.
Right. The only thing I heard that made me feel more confident was I have a neighbor who is in not an emergency, essential operation at all. He manufactures board games, and he said that, and he gets everything manufactured in China. He said, "Look, China, they're back on work, back at work. I got one shipment on the way, another one just logged in." He said that it seems like they're so. That's the sort of thing I don't believe when there's press and releases, but like personal information are like, oh, they just printed my stupid board game. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds pretty good.
Listen, unfortunately, the Americans don't realize it yet, and the Chinese people don't realize it yet. But the fact that they're the Chinese have already opened up, but the fact that the Americans now are thinking of doing this, they don't realize. Those two countries don't realize, or China doesn't give a shit anyway. But Donald Trump doesn't realize that a second wave is going to hit America, and it's going to be worse than the first wave. And he's going to lose millions. Now, listen, I've been a Donald Trump supporter. I cannot support him, this policy right now.
Well,
he is wrong, 100% wrong. He should not be opening up, and he's clever because he's left it to the individual governors to make up their mind. That's basically involving him of any wrongdoing. He is fucked up big time on this, just like Boris Johnson, Leo Varadkar, all the leaders have. But it's just so amazing that the other leaders actually try to rectify their mistakes, but Donald Trump is continuing to make the same mistake over and over again. And what is he doing? He's going around personally attacking people while there's people dying. I'm sorry, but right now Donald Trump has lost my support. He is billions of people, and I have no time for he should be taken out of office now. That's my breaking point with him now.
Well,
dragged out of office, and he should be put up against a wall, and I'll leave it at that.
I think
I'm glad you stopped there.
not going into the. I just think that when this is all over, there's going to be consequences. I know you say they weren't prepared for it, no, but I think there's going to be consequences. There's definitely going to be an inquiry of some sorts in the UK over it. I think that's going to. I would personally now. I'm going to put a prediction on this. You can come back to this, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. I probably will be wrong, but I am predicting now that what's going to happen now is Donald Trump has fucked up that badly. From what I can see, he has fucked up that badly. When he's asked questions, he's calling people fake news. When he's put real facts to him, he goes off on a real rant and tries to pin it on Joe Biden.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why that matters. None of that matters at all.
No,
none of that matters.
I think that he's not going to win the election. I don't think he's.
I disagree completely with you.
Yeah, I know. Biden's
firstly, that the stock markets haven't imploded is entirely because of his.
How is anybody saying in the comments there that he's killing this? He's beating this silent killer when USA has actually the worst numbers of all the countries right now, and they're still going up, by the way. And these are real-time facts, and you can actually look. There's YouTube channels dedicated to it. There's forums dedicated to it as well of the real-time numbers. Right? The numbers are still going up in America, right? It's some states are not. They're flat. The curve is gone.
From what I've heard in America, they are not. They did not clamp it down properly, and they in the more rural areas they're really not doing it that much. And they're talking about opening up really soon. That all that seems crazy to me. But again, look, with Trump, everything he's done, there's so many times I'm like, well, that sounds crazy. And then it comes out smelling roses. I mean, I'm not even joking. What you're saying makes sense. No, it makes complete sense. but it keeps coming out smelling of roses. So I don't know what to tell you.
But in fairness, he's wrong this time, and this is my breaking point. I'm sorry, he's wrong this time. He's taking people's lives. He's taking too much of a risk. You do that. Look at. I get why people. I genuinely do. I get why people want the economies to open back up again. They don't. We don't want to come back to a world where the economies collapse, right? Right. The rich. They don't want it because then they'd be on the same playing level field as us all of a sudden. They don't want that, right? So I can understand it, right? I can understand it. But letting America go back to work, right? And there's people walking around that don't know they have the virus. Now, that's all well and good. Everybody gets it then, and then nobody else dies. That would be all well and good. But we know that that's just not the case, right? And I'm sorry, I don't think people should be putting money first before people's lives. I don't know how we ended up in a society where you have a lot of people now saying, "Oh no, open up the sick should stay at home." Yes, I agree. I agree 100%, right? But I think it is a bit selfish to say, well, the sick have to stay at home so the rest of us can get on with our lives. But then, as I said, there's one big flaw in our plan, is that there's people walking around that think that they're healthy, that probably have some underlying medical condition that they never knew they had before, and then all of a sudden die. And as I said, young people are dying as well of this. And even the World Health Organization have even said, and the experts have even said themselves, that they're not actually quite sure. They don't know why. This is what we keep hearing from them. They don't know why. This virus is unpredictable, but yet people are treating it like a cold and the flu and says we should treat this like any other virus. Well, everybody is wrong. Donald Trump is wrong. In this case, he is wrong. And I'm sorry for those people that want to start the economy over people's lives. I think these are quite selfish, and he's really should take a hard look at Jesus. It's unfair.
I just think that when this is all over, as what I was saying, there's going to be an inquiry. I think. I personally, going into UK politics a wee bit here, I personally think that if there's an inquiry and it comes out that the UK government should have done more than what they have, I think that it will bring about the downfall of Boris Johnson. Not that there be an election early, but I think that he could be put out. He could be voted out by his own party early. I don't know what the story will be. Not turning the whole subject to politics. Come 24, I think Boris is a loony. But Keir Starmer has a hell of a job to sort out the Labour Party, especially with all the anti-Semitism stuff that's been going on at the minute. It's got out of control completely. But I just think that Boris, I don't think he has a clue of what he's doing. When you read everything that's online at the minute about the NHS and the workers that are dying, and the PPE that said was that they had enough PPE and they haven't got it now, and it just seems to be that they're not prepared for what's coming at all. But I suppose no country was.
Well, listen. I mean, I have an advantage that we have Mossad. It's like they used to look at the people cutting your throats. They're like, virus, want ventilators? No problem. And they just bring a flight of ventilators in.
Daniel just put up in the chat because he's moderating. He says, no swearing in the live chat, please keep it clean. If anybody is still actually using bad language in the live chat, I think we've explained this several times already before, but I'm going to explain it one last time, and then the next person that actually breaks that rule is going to be actually removed permanently and won't be able to follow the channel. But if anybody is using bad language in the chat, please don't use it. It's YouTube is coming down hard on people that actually use bad language on the chat, believe it or not. They don't really seem to give a shit about when I'm doing my live stream. That's why I said shit, because I could say it because I'm the host. Now, I've actually given a set of instructions, and one of those instructions is I don't want any bad language in the chat, and I'd like you to respect that, please. So if there's anybody using bad language in the chat, this is your last warning. So, Daniel, and any other moderator there, you have my permission to remove anybody permanently, not arrest mode or anything like that. You have my permission to remove them permanently if they're using any bad language in the chat or they're being nasty about someone in the chat. Thank you. Right, back to topic. Right, just to get back to
authorized to use.
anyway, so we will
term-
get back to topic, Doctor Who.
Bridges.
So
Yeah, I'm just going to say here, there's something else that's just come up in that Sarah Jane tweet here that I haven't
right,
seen.
well,
Somebody said, canonically she is straight, and someone wrote, no, she's canonically WLW, whatever that means. If somebody can tell me what that means.
Woman.
Woman, lesbian, women.
Someone goes, tell that to the whole romance plot between her and the Doctor, as well as that one episode in Sarah Jane Adventures where she gets married, and then that whole quote about Phil Collins comes up, and then a guy goes, if it's not in the media, Doctor Who media, it's not canon, and then this person goes, whether it's canonized or not, she's heavily queer quoted, and it's clear to be seen.
Wait, did you say W what W?
WLW, I think it is.
And
then someone
So
wrote,
that woman, lesbian, woman, or woman, lesbian, woman.
woman who love woman.
The last part of it here says she's literally been shown romantically interested in men before, in which she was going to marry one of them. Was she going to marry someone? Oh, I suppose she was. She's going to marry your guy, Sarah Jane. And then the person gave up with the argument and wrote back. This Jodie Bott wrote back. Anyway, she's a lesbian. Get over it.
Yeah, she's not, and I don't care. Listen, they can call me. They can call me all the usual names. Sarah Jane's not lesbian. Get over it, right?
Yeah.
You aren't taking her as one. She's our companion. She's held in high esteem with this fandom, and you aren't going to taint her, which is our rubbish. But there's plenty of characters that have been LGBTQ, as I said, that have been in Doctor Who. Most recently, with Bill Potts, and we all love Bill Potts. We have no problem with characters like that, but you're not going to claim characters that are clearly straight just because
I would love
to be one of the most important. See, this is why it is though, because Sarah Jane is considered one of the best companions and probably wins most companion polls. That's why they've focused on her, because they want to take another part. They're not happy with just taking the Doctor and changing the gender of the Doctor. They're not happy with just that. They want to be able to take these old characters as well. Listen, this is not the first time I've heard this talk. Sure, it's interesting that Harry was bleeding gay. Wait, you say that?
I just realised. You know the reason they're saying Sarah Jane is gay? Because Sarah Jane's the only companion they know of. I'm going through the other companions in my head who they could say is gay. I was like, I mean, let's work backwards. Ace, I guess. No, I mean, she kind of had a flirting thing with that soldier in Fenric.
Yeah.
Okay.
She gets shipped for that as well. They ship her as well. Oh no, Ace apparently is supposed to be a bit showed lesbian tendencies according to these J-bots as well. Actually,
what?
Oh no, they shipped them all. You have David Tennant's Doctor in an orgy with Rose Tyler and Sarah Jane Smith and a couple of other companions in the arc that was in. Yeah.
Adric.
I tell you, Adric is John Nathan Turner's masturbatory fantasy. Maybe you go back and watch an early Adric story, like you watch State of Decay. It will freak you out, but it's very clear. It's not so. I've told you it. You can never not see it.
I've always seen it in Adric. I just knew by the way he was going on. I always knew.
You know he was sleeping with Anthony Ainley.
Anthony Ainley?
Yeah.
Why? What about him?
No, they were sleeping together.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Who?
Adric and Anthony Ainley.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
That's a wind up.
Was he not married?
Was it? Matthew Waterhouse said it at one point. I think it's in his book. No, it was there. I don't think it's ever.
Well, for real, like, I mean, you mean you were? Hang on, no way. Hold on.
I thought so. Yeah,
Right?
I've definitely read about it, and I did. It's not even a controversial thing.
Hold on.
Hold
I
on.
never heard of that.
Oh, he was unmarried. Doesn't say he was gay, but
No, Matthew Waterhouse is gay. He's married to a man.
yeah, I know that. Well, that takes.
I just thought this was like a known thing.
So Derek says a J-bot told me once that no Tardis zone showed lesbian tendencies. Wink. Yeah. I probably am more lesbian than the people that they actually really do try to ship, man.
Well, let me ask you. No,
The
are
scream
you
of the woman.
attracted to women? No,
What?
are you attracted to women?
I am
Yes. Would you like to have sex with a woman?
all the time.
No, that's no. Now, here's the important question: would you
Yeah.
also like to have sex with a man?
No, it's not my.
Okay,
It's not
you're
my
probably a
task.
lesbian then.
What?
You're a lesbian then.
Oh well, I must be. Jesus, I
See,
figured it out. Jesus.
This is why I'm here to help you.
Damn. I was actually wondering where you are going with that one, Rabbi. I was like, he has to be careful here. Where is he going with that? Whoa.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Have you watched Blake 7 and listened to the Big Finish Blake 7?
You asking me?
Yeah, both of you.
Oh, I haven't. No, I know Blake 7. Everybody keeps telling me to watch Blake 7. I did watch it back in the day briefly, but I can't be arsed to remember what it was about.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's
Well,
like,
no, I will because
it's fun.
do it, and it was a suggestion that loads of people actually made. I will get around to it. I'll do it on the Irish Geek. It's just you know, I've got other shit to be planning. Like we got loads coming up.
All right, now I'm looking for something to talk about because I want to know: do people prefer the Big Finish Blake 7 or the TV Blake 7?
Well, let's ask him. Let's ask him. Big Finish Blake 7.
We don't know. So
Big Finish Blake 7 or the TV show Blake 7. Which do you prefer, guys?
I
no. And I tell you what, if you prefer the TV show, I know it's on YouTube. Actually, if it's on YouTube already, if we were to screen share that, would I get away with it because it's on YouTube?
I don't know. You wouldn't want to try it, would you?
I wouldn't try it.
Yeah, blimey. I wouldn't mess around.
Well, I'm not going to try it again. If I get another copyright strike, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah, forget that.
Then you won't have any more Tardis Zone. Tardis Zone is gone, dead, buried.
He's dematerialized.
Sure, everybody thought I was gone. Seriously. I was over Me and Rad Boy were on the other channel, and then when I came back, oh, we thought you were gone. I was like, no, I was over on the other channel because I got a copyright strike. But it was great to see that everybody missed me because loads of people did. So that's nice to know that people still want to listen to me. I don't know why you still, but like, you know, I don't even listen to myself. You know, so I don't know why people are money messing. I love yous all. Yous are all great. Yous are all helping me through this anyway. You know.
Have any of you listened to Torchwood and Big Finish? Have you listened to Torchwood?
I did. That's the only series I stopped listening to. Right. That's how I said like forget them. Yeah. It's like that one. It was just too woke. It went too woke, and I was like, I don't like being insulted. You know. Yeah. So I did listen. It's okay. Listen, everything Big Finishers does, they do well. They do it very, very well. They did the Torchwood the best they could. Trouble was that the first series of box sets was it Aliens Among Us? I think it didn't go anywhere. So it was okay, but if it went to then it went to do a second box set, which is where I stopped listening to it. And their individual releases are very like companion chronicles. There's not many people there. It's always always very a noticeably small cast.
Yeah.
And not their best work either, in my opinion.
I'd love it to come back, but I wouldn't trust Jindal with it. I wouldn't trust him with it.
No.
But then again, he wasn't exact on it. Did any of you see this rumor going around way back about, not even way back, but just like maybe it was February time, that apparently it's supposed to be, I think it was rubbish, but the guy wrote up after saying, listen, I deleted it, but I've been told by somebody who's reliable that this has happened, but I deleted it because of all the abuse that he was getting because it didn't come true. But apparently this guy said that Torchwood is coming back in 2022.
There's been that rumor.
Yeah, that's been floating about for a while. Actually, I did have a bit of Torchwood stuff to talk about. John Barrowman actually has been very vocal, as you know. Again, though, he's been on Twitter, trying to encourage the Torchwood fans to kind of get BBC to get behind these Torchwood tweet along. He really wants to look at John Barrowman wants Torchwood back before it's too late. I agree. If you're going to do it, you really need to be doing it now or in the next 2 years, which is look at 2 years. No, 2 years. I'll tell you why, Marty. I believe there might be some validation in that. Think about it, right? We've got another year Doctor Who under Chibnall, right? So he's gone after Series 13 no matter what, right? So then you've got the new series of Doctor Who, whoever takes over. My sneaky suspicion is that the whole Moffat thing might actually happen and he'll take over Doctor Who.
Come back
and he will then go and write for Torchwood. And those two will work together on both shows. I think something like that could really happen. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot rumors now. There's a lot of stuff circulating around Muppet right now. Some of it I can't talk about right now because I have to verify some of it. But the rumor mill around Moffat right now is going into overdrive. There's so many different things coming out about Moffat.
Drop some in the private chat.
Yeah, I might have to keep this one to myself for now until I find out. Boy, I have to be fair now, but you know I normally do. But this one, no, I have to wait. No
problem.
There's something I want to get because if it links into something that I think it links into, then this could actually 100% prove that this is actually going to happen and Chibnall will be gone. I have to just make sure before I announce anything.
Happy day.
There's something that I heard today that makes it very, very likely that Chris Chibnall is going to be replaced, and that the hostile takeover is actually going to happen. There's too many wheels in motion. These tweet alongs, as I spoke about a few months back, or a few weeks when they were first started, that I said that there was something else behind this.
I got that.
Well, that's been basically confirmed. That's been basically confirmed. So,
I wanted to talk about a post on Gallifrey Base about who could be taken over from Chibnall.
Yeah.
Now, this comes from an account. Obviously, I don't know whether there's any validity to it or if it's true, but this is how the post goes. So this person says, from what I heard a while back, one of the people, at least one, that the BBC were talking to about taking over was not British, which would set the cat among the pigeons. If what I have heard is in any way true, the BBC want a new showrunner to work on Series 13 alongside Chibnall for a period to settle in and then take over properly for Series 14. However, circumstances at the minute with COVID-19 may well have changed all of that.
Well, that's very interesting because, again, this is what I was told that was going to happen with Stephen Moffat. Now, what I was told was that his production team was going to come in, and basically Chris Chibnall would be still showrunner, but would be kind of a figurehead, and he would step down after Series 13, and then Moffat would then take over straight after that. So that kind of fits in with what you were saying. Now, I know they're saying non-British, but again, with all source information, you know,
Could it
it
be,
could
if it's a
be.
non-British, could it be Jonah Hill, you think?
God knows. God knows.
Oh, God.
Coming back to Robin
You know who
here.
I'd love is Peter Jackson is from New Zealand. If it was Peter Jackson, then I'm on board.
Oh, that'll be, yeah, there was that rumor, wasn't there?
Yeah, sure. He did a whole video with Capaldi. He does a piss take with Peter Jackson, his daughter, and Peter Capaldi coming in playing the Doctor. Have you ever seen that clip?
I have seen it, yeah.
Yes, it is funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they take where he's talking about his Oscar and all. It's funny, yeah. Where he's saying Doctor Who, the writers or something that Doctor Who are stupid or something like that, and Peter Capaldi stumbles in. It's hilarious. It's
There's
hilarious.
a video on me about personally, if money wasn't an option, and I could do whatever I want, if I could bring in somebody now who I think would show them Doctor Who, I would bring in Charlie Brooker straight away. He's wrote Black Mirror, and I think Black Mirror is exactly how Doctor Who should be.
Yeah, the only problem with that, and I would normally agree with you, but Charlie Brooker, his last series was fucking
Well, that was dreadful.
trash.
Because I think he put too much time into Bandersnatch than what he did from the other 3 episodes. I think he put far too much time into that. But there's a video online. Did he used to do a show on BBC 3 years ago, like Screen Watch or Mind Watch or something like that? It was called on BBC 3. But he talks about series 2 of Doctor Who and his wishes and what he would want for series 3. And if I find the link, I'll send it to you. But he says a lot about like cutting the silliness out of it, and making it serious, and stop having as many jokes in it as what there were, and stop have the Doctor come in and don't have the Doctor coming in and knowing everything. The Doctor should come in and have to figure out something, not just come into a place and automatically know.
Series 3, is he talking about series 3 of Jodie?
No, this was series 2. This was Tennant. This was Tennant he was talking about. This is over like 30 years ago, this video.
Oh.
But if I find the link, I'll send it to you. But he makes some good points, like, for what he's saying. Some of it is like good.
Well,
but he has a fan of it. Sorry?
Who is it in the video?
Who is it in the video?
Yeah.
It's Charlie Brooker, but it's part of a show he done for BBC 3. But he talks about different shows, but he mentioned this part of the show was about Doctor Who, and he just chats about his wishes for series 3. So that was RTD's third series and what he wanted.
Because I mean, I love what he did with Black Mirror. I kind of I disagree with his like worldview. He's got a very like blue check mark. I was looking at Paul Cornell's Twitter feed when he said he blocked you, and I see why, because he's like he's with the girl Simone's, and like, oh God, he understood.
Don't ask a question if you don't like the answer. You know what I mean?
The thing is, he doesn't understand professionally as a writer. That haven that he had is gone. It's dead. It's no more. They're a joke.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I've got it.
That simpering up to them to support them and desperately wants to be one of them is just sad and pathetic.
Yeah. I got that video like I just in the private chat there. Screen Wipe, it's called.
Right.
But you should take a look at it and see what you think. But he is a fan. Like, I think there's another video here where he's actually interviewing RTD.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
He's interviewing RTD, but I'd love him to write an episode, even if he doesn't showrun. I'd love him to actually write an episode for it.
Yeah. And in terms of showrunner, he will certainly be interesting. I mean, if you want to go something new, I always say Jimmy Whitehouse is your best.
But you see, he'd never leave Netflix if he was going to do Doctor Who. It would be the case where Doctor Who would be on
Netflix now.
He wrote Family of Blood as well, Unknown 289. Paul Cornell wrote Human Nature, Family of Blood, and he wrote something else as well, actually. What was it?
Well, he the Virgin era.
Yeah.
You know, like
look, he's still one of my favorite writers. But I mean, if you're going to ask a question, as I said, about the Timeless Children, you don't like the responses you're getting off fans. Well, then you don't ask that question in the first place if you have a problem with it. You know what I mean? It's like I would have more than happily brought that guy on if he wanted to have a debate and tell me why I was wrong, and then I would have actually told him why he's wrong, and I'd be right and he would be wrong, because he's looking at it from a writer's point of view, I'm looking at it from a fan's point of view, and as far as I'm concerned, I will always be right and he will always be wrong, and these clowns that are running the show are wrong. We're right. We seen this coming years ago, couple of years ago, when all this, you know what, come here, I saw this coming a mile away when we had that line in The Doctor's Wife. I turned around and I looked at my brother at the time and I said, one day the Doctor's going to be a woman.
Yeah, that was yes.
Everybody asks, when did I know this was going to happen? That's when I knew it was going to happen. So that's how far back I knew. And then when Missy came along, actually, no, it was before Missy came along. Then when we got the Dr. Donna, then I knew they're definitely going to do this eventually. Then when we got Missy, it's only a matter of time. But I didn't think they'd do it this quick, but they have. And now we've seen the result. Listen, bottom line is this. Chris Chibnall, we've said it, hack out of his depth, so is his writers. Unfortunately, whether the J-Bots like it or not, your precious Jodie Whittaker is not good enough. I would rather watch
and that is such an woman on the screen of his. That's such an expression of his failure. That it's not that just he's a terrible writer, and he is a truly terrible writer. Just on a technical level, he's a truly awful writer. But you would have thought, if you're completely untalented and you have put yourself in this job and you just don't know what you're doing, which I think he knows. I think he knows how awful he is. Why wouldn't you have gone and found good writers to hold you up? Writers with a strong track record.
Because he's got such an ego. He thinks he's the best out of the whole lot of them. He wants to be the best out of the whole lot of them. He knows his own downfalls. That's
what he's had his arse handed to him.
Lower level than him. Because he doesn't want to be shown up. But
he has had his arse handed to him big time.
So I was right. You're right. So as you all know, and I brought this up. Now I did kind of hold back a bit on my criticism a little bit. I was still a bit angry, but I held back a little bit just in case, right? Mm-hmm. But this is what we brought up in the first show with me and Rabbi, so I'm bringing it up again because BBC still haven't, and it shows you. As I said, it shows you. So as we know, Pip Baker passed away only recently, and BBC official site on Twitter and on Facebook have still not acknowledged that man has passed away.
That is not good. That is not good.
Listen for a minute. Now, I can understand with all the shit that's been going on because it was Peter Capaldi's birthday and there was a tweet along at the same time, right? And they couldn't really cancel
over the weekend.
But it's been 3 days now and still nothing from the BBC. Now, Rabbi made the point and he's spot bleeding on. The people running this are idiots, They don't know the history of Doctor Who, because if they did, that would have been the first thing that they put up. They haven't acknowledged the man. It's an absolute bloody disgrace. Disgrace.
Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah, it's a disgrace. You're right.
It's a disgrace. So I just wanted to put that's your BBC for you. That's the people that run Doctor Who. And by the way, I don't care that Chris Chibnall hasn't said that, and I didn't expect him to anyway, because he did criticise the man all those years ago. So it would be a bit ironic if the cunt was to come out and actually say, "Oh, he was a great writer," after criticising him. So he was never going to do that.
No, but you know what? That would have been okay.
His employer to acknowledge him.
If I was Chris Chibnall, I would hire me to advise him on what to do, because this is what he should do, and he would save face so incredibly and make men so many. Okay, he needs to firstly, in one episode, the next one he can undo the Timeless Children and hopefully get rid of Whittaker. That's what he really needs to do. But like, I don't know, yeah. But if he would, like, in the meantime, like, encourage the BBC to film episodes of the Lost Stories with David Bradley as a doctor, like the kids did from Mission Unknown, as like a project while they're waiting for his Doctor Who to come on. He would, and because he would spearhead that, it would engender goodwill from the fandom, which legitimately hates him right now, and it'll cost him nothing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just him, I would advise him on how to get out the mess he's in, because that's really, I think, this problem. He just doesn't know how to get out this mess he's in.
Right, listen, but I feel so strongly about this, right? I'm not acknowledging Pip Baker. We are on this channel. So what we're gonna do is me and Rabbi, hopefully during the week, right? We're gonna bang our heads together. We're gonna look at Pip and Jane Baker's stories. We're gonna pick the ones that we're gonna watch, and we're gonna do a watch along and a discussion on this.
I think the best story was
whether it's controversial or whether people didn't like whatever he put in it. Blah blah. BBC should be still acknowledging the man, right? It's a disgrace. They acknowledged the greatest writer. Let's be honest, but they did acknowledge one of the greatest writers in what's his face when he passed away in
Terrence Dicks.
Terrence Dicks. Sorry, yeah. Why did that blank out in my head? Terrence Dicks, right? They did something nice for him. I'm sorry, but as I said, if you write for classic Who, you should be acknowledged somehow by the BBC. The fact that they haven't, so we'll acknowledge them, but would be interesting if anybody, because I'm blocked from all the shills, if you could actually see if any of the shills actually mentioned them, actually had the decency.
Okay, but if we're watching a Pip and Jane Baker story, I think their best one is probably Mark of the Rani. You got Mark of the Rani, Terror of the Vervoids. I mean, they have oh god, Terror! I've watched it; it's so bad. Ultimate Foes, that's the last one, or Time and the Rani. That'll be Sylvester McCoy's first one.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Right. While we're here in the chat now, right, wherever how many votes we get for those stories is what we'll do. So right now, those stories that Rabbi mentioned, which one you want me and Rabbi to do in a watch along and discussion. Obviously, he's been watching it with us as well.
Please have mercy on me. Okay,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Be gentle with me.
Right, pick the story, go ahead, and we will do it, because I want to acknowledge that man, because he deserves it just as much as Terrence Dicks did, and every other writer that passes away that has written for this wonderful show. The fact that I'm sorry, I'm pissed off right now with the BBC. They've done a lot of things wrong, but this is probably this is as low as you can get. This is as low. This is Pip Baker, right? It doesn't matter. It's 3 days now, right? I'm not buying the excuses anymore, right? Don't care. There is no reason why they shouldn't have acknowledged this man right now.
They don't know. That's why they do it, because they don't know.
You know that's no excuse, though. It's no excuse, though. Running a Doctor Who bloody channel, right? A page, whatever it is, right? The person running that should have the knowledge. Right? Even fans that have joined this fandom late know who feckin' Pip Baker is. because they all know of the video that Chris Chibnall did. Right? So there's no fucking excuse. There's no excuse. BBC
Again, legitimately, it's people who are just paid to do this job, and they do it. They're not people. It's not like when Rusty Davis was the showrunner and he did everything because he just loved everything so much.
I know, and all those little things that we used to get as well.
There's like podcast,
interview. Just you look at this area contrast. Even Moffat was the same. He got fans involved quite a lot, right? Mostly the Americans, but still, he still got fans involved, right? But look at this era. What did they do? Stupid little videos on eating marshmallows or something. Nobody Jodie Whittaker shoved marshmallows in her mouth. How did anybody think? So I'm at home in my isolation.
I didn't even see that one.
Is get Jodie Whittaker there with Monique Gill eating fucking marshmallows in a competition, and you think that that's entertaining?
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah, I didn't even
I'm really getting sick eating them on our
like material now.
Poor safe space snowflake.
See the special New Year. Do you think we know less in total, or do you that there's any chance that John Barrowman could be roped back into coming on as a full-time companion for Series 13?
Anything's on the table.
Listen.
No matter how stupid
is coming back to Doctor Who for Series 13. Now,
I doubt he would want to.
So that is interesting.
I doubt they can talk him into being full-time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently, Rory's going to come back. There's going to be something that makes him back.
Stop already. You're hurting. Like, they're embarrassing themselves.
But hang on. They already asked the Radio Times as well, because Radio Times is a mouthpiece for the BBC, as you know. So they've already put out several articles and polls asking fans what they would like to see return for Series 13. Captain Jack, it's actually interesting because all the names that were mentioned to me by the same source that gave me the information from Spyfall actually ended up then a couple of weeks later being on this poll from the Radio Times. Amy is being mentioned, Rory's being mentioned, Captain Jack, the Sea Devils have been mentioned. Someone mentioned the Autons as well. But these are all polls that these are doing. By the way, I have a video coming up. Radio Times, I think it is, right? Or BBC, whoever's running Doctor Who. We don't give a shit now at this stage, right? But the people behind it want you to send them videos of to recreate your best moments of Series 12 of Doctor Who.
Jesus Christ.
Now, all entries have to be in before the 30th of
Series 12?
Now, I'm going to throw up the video because if you want to do some... Now, I know they're not going to show you videos, but I was going to ask some of you talented people out there, if you could do videos, you could get someone to pretend to be Jodie Whittaker, one of you pretend to be Graham O'Brien, and reenact the whole cancer scene again. And the moment that you actually choked on your cornflakes or something and decided that Doctor Who was shit. So you show them what your worst moments. They want the best moments, recreate best moments. I want you to recreate your worst moments and send them into the BBC, right? Just send them fucking in because you know what? Here's the thing though. These articles are always put in late, right? But you'll always notice when they put an article up an hour and you check the comments, then all the J-bots are already there because Radio Times now, and I know this happens, secretly sends these articles to all the fucking J-bots first and all these shill.
We know that.
Yeah, right? So get in there. I'll put it up later on, but check it out. They want your best moments, right? To recreate your best moments of Series 12. I think it's Series 12. Yeah, it
is. Series 12 at any time.
What was I going to say? Something.
Series 12. That's crazy.
I tell you, just from seeing everything, recently, I swear to God, hey, if I had if I had the power, I'd walk it down to the BBC. I'd fucking go straight into a room with Chibnall, the Pierce Winger, and whoever the hell else has to be there. I'd say, right, sack that man there, get Chibnall out. Next thing you need to do, get me the numbers of Sarah Dollard, get me the numbers of Toby Whitehouse, Neil Gaiman, and whoever the hell else.
Oh, wait, let me ask you a question about Toby Whitehouse. I saw his new show is Noughts and Crosses, which I heard was not good, so I don't know anything about it. What do you think? Have you seen it? What's it
I
like?
haven't seen it, but what I do know is that there's actually like 3 or 4 main writers on that, so he's not the main.
He's only one of the writers. It's actually a woman behind Rosa. It's her actual book.
Mallory Blackman.
Yeah, it's Mallory Blackman's book, and she's part of it. And it's basically a black dystopian world where white people it's basically roles reversed, or in her eyes, these people that feel oppressed. I'm not just saying black people, I'm saying these millennials, safe space and snowflake people, so it's roles reversed.
By a week.
I have to tell you this because I wanted to see what it was like. I watched I could only get 5 minutes in. This is the problem I have with this is okay, the dystopian story, right? But the problem that I have with it is that there'll be people that'll be watching this and they'll actually think that this is the way the world should be. And if you actually just look at the way it's written, it kind of comes across like that. And I'm sorry, no, Mallory Blackman needs to fuck off now.
Here's
Rosa episode, you can clearly see that she's a racist because and she hates white people because not all white people were racist during that time, but yet every white person in the episode that she'd written was racist. So she is clearly racist against white people. So this is why I wouldn't support this. But Toby Whitehouse, I'd have no problem with him writing Doctor Who because he's just a writer on that show. So he'll write whatever he is at, because you know what I mean. It's her book, so he's interpreting her whatever she's asked him to interpret it, and that's the way it has to be done. Whereas if he Doctor Who, he'd have free reign himself. He'd be his own boss. So I'd probably have. He was one of the names mentioned early on. Him, Neil Gaiman was actually, and your man,
Neil Gaiman,
Alex Cross. Well, not Alex Cross. What was his name? Something Cross.
Neil Cross.
Neil Cross.
Neil Cross. Yeah, he was mentioned as well. So the BBC have been looking into this. Marty is right though. This whole COVID-19 thing has probably fucked every plan up. Now we're probably stuck with Chibnall.
Tell you what I'll ask both these. If money and time and everything else wasn't an issue, I'll ask the both of you now: who would you bring in as showrunner, and who would you want as the Doctor?
Showrunner for me right now. Oh,
anybody, no limits.
I would get in your man that wrote Misfits, Tom Green.
Tom Green.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Now the first couple of seasons of Misfits he wrote. They got new writers in then for the later series, but for the first couple of series, I think the first 3 are his. I'd definitely get him in as showrunner because I think Misfits is actually one of those underrated shows. Now I haven't watched it till. I didn't watch the end of it. I only got as far as third series. I've never been. I watched a bit of the fourth one because obviously, close your ears for anybody that doesn't want to hear spoilers. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But by series 4, there's a whole complete new cast. So yeah, it kind of I didn't couldn't get adjusted to them as much as I could. The other characters.
I actually really warmed up that second cast. I really liked them.
Did you?
I thought I liked all of them a lot. Actually, I
Yeah.
thought
We should actually do a watch along of Misfits, because not many people know what Misfits is. So just to give you a brief synopsis of what Misfits is. So Misfits is basically what the title says. So it's a bunch of misfits, mid-20 people that basically have
on
crimes, but they're petty crimes, not anything too serious. Maybe a drug deal here or a robbed car here, your typical council estate, kind of crime. I lived in the council estate, so I can get away with saying that, and people won't feel offended because I know what council estates are like, and they are as bad as people make them out to be. But it's the people inside them that make them great. So they might look shit, but the people normally do be great. But anyway, so they all have to do community service, and it's all concentrated on this community center where they have to do their community service. And on the first day community service, a freak thunder and hailstorm comes, and they get struck by lightning. And then they realize then, as the episode goes on, is that each of them have a power, except for the Irish guy, which he doesn't find out his power until the end of the episode.
Right, and he's like,
which is fucking brilliant. But I love your man because he's brilliant. But I love them all. Simon is my favorite in it. He's a little weirdo. He's a little bit creepy, but he is one of the best. Like, he plays a very important role.
I've never seen. I've seen him again. He's got big. Well, I haven't seen any. What's it? The one, the woman. What's her name? Alicia.
Well, the one that played Curtis, he ended up doing a show called Utopia. It was another. He did that. Your woman. That
I did hear about it. Yeah. No,
yeah.
The woman was just gorgeous. She was like so hot.
Yeah, she's been in.
We've got to be seeing her in more things. Haven't seen her since. I'm amazed.
Yeah, she was in. I think she was in a movie. She was in that fucking singing movie. Is it Sunshine on Heat or some mad crap like that? Some like singy British.
It's so strange. I mean, she's talented and beautiful.
Oh no!
You would have thought that would put her at a premium.
Yeah, I had a thing for myself now, I have to say. I actually should watch. Cheryl actually watched Misfits with me. I didn't think she'd be actually into it.
It's a fun little show. It's a fun show.
Enjoyed it. But listen, guys, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's shocking. But the premise is so bloody simple, but the writing is so fantastic. I mean, there's an episode, right? There's an episode all based on this bloke, and he's living his life like a video game, and is absolutely brilliant. So he basically thinks he's in a video game. His life is playing out like a video game. This bloke is going around running over people and shooting people and stuff, and they get caught up in it. And it's brilliant. But what you're showing us there now, Rabbi, we'll go back to.
I saw it on Facebook, and I thought it was so cool. Unfortunately, they can't show you the preview. It's these like fans. They've made an annual. The Doctor Who annuals. They made a fake Master annual. They've done another one of these before, which was very, very good. I was just trying to work out where to show you.
Is it made by fans, proper fans, like?
Yeah. It's really good.
Nothing to do with the BBC.
I don't know. It's that. I mean, it's an unofficial one. There's the I'm just trying to see what else they've done. Because they've done.
Looking at the cover there, that looks impressive.
Yeah, it does. Unofficial. It's definitely unofficial.
Are you going to get one? You're going to get one.
Thinking about it, but I want to see.
I know you. You'll get one. You think about, and then 5 minutes later, then you'll be in there and you'll say, "Feck it, I'll get it," because you'll have to have it.
That sounds likely. That sounds like the sort of thing I would do. No, there's no. I'm trying to see what else they've done. So I know they've done like a fake. They've done a couple of fake of these fake annuals before, and they're normally really good. But I just thought it'll be interesting in seeing that.
Well, listen, if we do Misfits, of course, it'll be on the Irish Geek. It won't be on the Tardis Zone. The Tardis Zone is staying strictly Doctor Who. The Irish Geek is there for other stuff. It's better that way because I'll tell you why. Everybody knows the Tardis Zone, right? Whether I'm liked or I'm hated, everybody knows it. And I don't want to be doing fun stuff on this channel like that and then having people coming in the comments because they hate me. I mean, for example, I put up Pip Baker's little tribute video to let people know that he passed away because BBC didn't give an ass or a toss. And people have went in to dislike that video because they hate me. But I mean, they're supposed to be fans of the show. That does actually really piss me off. Like, so that's why I'm doing those type of things on the other channel, because the other channel is only new. It's not, it's separate to this channel, if you know what I mean. My viewers on this channel, I won't have the same views on the other channel because obviously it's like, it's not Doctor Who. You know what I mean? So my views on Doctor Who will remain on this channel. And anyway, this channel will be changing slightly because we'll be getting ready for that Christmas special and we'll be doing running up to it because yeah, I've decided I'm not letting the J-bots get away with reviewing this on its own. Now I will tell you this. I'm not going to give it any coverage up to the point that I'm not going to be talking the whole week about the episode. What's going to happen is when the episode airs, right? If obviously Rabbi is going to be doing, so me and Rabbi will probably just do what we did last year, Rabbi, and just fecking for Series 12 and just do it together. We just come on, I'll talk about it. If Rabbi then decides to do videos on his channel about extra videos on, that's up to himself. But once I do the review and finish discussing it, that's it, I'm done. I'm not even going to talk about what's happening next week's episode. I'll wait until it drops, do the same thing over. They're getting least pubs. They're getting as so little as much. I'm not giving them as publicity this year. It's as simple as that. Last year, YouTubers like me, Ballstreck, and others, we probably gave it all the publicity that it needed. I'm not even going to be telling you what the name of the episodes are. I don't give a crap. Right when they come out, do the review, and I'm done. Done. It'll be like, yeah, this is what happened in the episode. This is it. Same shit. Just different era, different episode, blah, blah, blah. Done. You know what? But I'm not letting these little pricks go around and say that this is brilliant when it clearly hasn't been for 2 years. And I can understand, trust me, because I don't want to do this, but I feel I have to. I feel I have to for some sort of closure because right now, you all know what I was like, right? I don't need to explain it again, and I still haven't gotten over it. So I kind of need. It's weird, but I kind of need to do it. I need to do it. Look, Rabbi said it a few weeks back, and I disagreed with him, but he was right. He needs to see how this ends. I'm the same. I need to see how this ends for some weird reason.
That. Like what? Like how? You just can't predict where it's going to go.
I just need to know. I don't know what it is, but I'm like Rabbit. I just need to know. I have to know. I have to know how far.
I'm reasonably emotionally divorced from it. I just find it very painful and boring watching it.
Yeah, but I'm not letting the J-bots get away with saying this is fantastic. Yeah. That's why Rabbi is working on that other little thing. That tool will be ready in time for it. When we're ready to announce it,
it'll be totally ready for that. I know it's getting late for me, so I think I'm going to have to go to bed shortly.
Yeah, no problem. So we're going to finish up now in about 5 minutes anyway. Okay, so if you need to head now, you can.
No, hang out. Right. If you're still in the chat, Problem Being and Daniel, I'll get in contact with you tomorrow in regard to Blake 7.
There you go. And I might actually watch and join you, lads. Why not? It'll be my first time watching this since I was a kid. I can't even remember what happens in this. So this was like new to me again. So I'll watch. And by the way, do I want to actually pull you up on something? We're not finished with the singing detective either.
Yeah, we got to do that. I know. I just got so many things.
Don't forget to do that as well.
That's really the trouble with YouTube, because it's so easy to just do stuff and throw it out there, and it's interesting. And I'm a sort of guy who comes up with ideas. I like having
same
ideas.
as myself. The same
And it's like I really want to do a watch along of The Spy Who Loved Me. I think that would be so much fun.
No, listen, we're gonna do the James Bond ones as well. But listen, we what's this today? We're doing the Doctor Who one tomorrow, right? We're doing the 3 episodes tomorrow. You available Monday?
Possibly. It depends. It depends how burnt out I am.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. The try relax a little bit extra tomorrow. Right. Get sleep. Right. Less coffee, so you're tired. Go get yourself a nice sleep, even if you have to take a nap in between.
Yeah, but right. Tomorrow we're
watch tomorrow. I mean Monday. Sorry, I'm getting confused now.
Right.
Monday. Right, and then we could do either War of the Worlds or the Time Machine, like we said we were going to do. Once we get one of them out of the way, then we can concentrate going back. Then we can either do the Singing Detective, finish that off,
right,
or do as you said, The Spy Who Loved Me, or start from the very beginning and do Doctor No.
That's another thing I'd love to chat to you about is No Time Today. What do you think is what your
we're not going to know now, are
we? For the movie, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people have made it out.
I think they saw the writing on the wall with Charlie's Angels and with Terminator: Dark Fate, and also there was another one.
I think the trailer has done them a favor.
Yeah, I think they look on the wall and they round all that stuff back big time. That's what I think. I think they used the Corona thing as a smokescreen so they could take it back for a re-edit, and then they got really lucky that Corona turned out to be a terrible virus that that ravaged the world.
The movie will be better than what we think, but it's not going to be the best one out of the franchise.
I have 2 predictions.
Spyfall was brilliant, and Casino Royale are the only 2 of Daniel Craig's that I think
he's two out of 4. Yeah, that.
What do you think, Marty? Because you posed the question. What do you think?
I'll say
I have 2 predictions for this.
Of the last one of Spectre was good. Right, until it hit the titles, it was good, and then boy, did that get slow.
Yeah, Spectre wasn't great. But go on anyway.
The 2 predictions I have. I think Rami Malek is Dr. No. I think he is Dr. No. And my other prediction.
Interesting.
They're going to kill Bond. Daniel Craig's Bond.
They're going to kill off Daniel Craig's Bond.
Yeah, I think they are.
That one, because I'll tell you why. There's already talks behind the scenes that he actually that he might actually stay on now and do another thing.
That's such a bad idea.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think he is a great Bond. I think what's happened is
great. His time's over.
I think the right
over for the last movie.
Listen, he was brilliant in Casino Royale. Yes or no?
Brilliant. Yeah, but you know, so what? He's had his time. He's born with the role. He's born with the role, and it's cool. And the story has run its steam. I think it needs to be reinvigorated. I think Tom Hiddleston is your man.
Oh no! I think
Tom Hiddleston he would be perfect. I think
he's no. Come here for a minute. He's not gonna. No.
If you see him
listen,
either Skull Island or High Rise,
he looks like a scrawny little fella that needs.
Firstly, he can beef himself up. Firstly, he can totally beef himself up, and secondly, if you see him in again Kong Skull Island, where he's essentially plays James Bond, or High Rise. He's got that real suave quality. I think he'll bring something very new to the role. I think he'll go. It's a back to base thing. I think it's a reboot, and it's a reinvigoration. And also, he loves the role, and he'll be a real ambassador for it.
I don't know.
There's an article right away back after Spectre came out, and apparently Tom Hiddleston did meet with Barbara Broccoli, but they thought, now this was the words of the article, that he was a bit full of himself for the role.
See, Tom Hardy. See, I like that arrogance. Exactly. I think he'll play it like a cross between like Pierce Brosnan and Roger Moore. I think he will really play up the kind of like winking at the camera thing. I think it'll be a more friendly, fun Bond.
I agree. Unknown 289. That's who I want to play Bond.
Oh, Henry Cavill, yes. Henry Cavill has won me over with his excellent fan or audience interactions. His interactions are absolutely fantastic. I watched The Witcher solely because he answered that question about how fans are wrong. How fans do
he said that fans have the right.
Yeah, they are very passionate, and he was so right. And even if he didn't believe it, he sold the line. And I watched that whole bloody show, and it's okay by the end. You know what? I'm gonna watch the second season, but I invested my time in it because of him, and just because when he's on social media, he's not hateful. He's always up. He's nice.
Yeah.
I have two choices for Bond: Richard Madden or else Aidan Turner.
Oh,
Aidan Turner's a little bit light. I think Richard Madden. I got it. I can't try and hear his English accent. I mean,
you get a Scottish Bond back. You could get a Scottish Bond back. Bond was Scottish, like.
Yeah, but he's too Scottish. That's the Scottish in the body.
He wrote it down. He's obviously not going to use his full Scottish accent if he was getting he's throwing it down. So Connery toned his Scottish accent down as well.
Have you seen Bodyguard? I just saw Bond in him straight away as soon as I see Bodyguard.
It's going to be very hard though. If we're finding it difficult to pick the next James Bond, can you imagine what it's like for the production crew getting ready? If Daniel Craig
should have picked a new James Bond,
who are they going to get?
Spent by the end of Spectre, he was clearly done. By the beginning of Spectre, he was very bored with the role. Yeah, maybe what they should have done is another Bond movie.
Yeah, but apparently this story has reignited his passion. Apparently this story is supposed to be brilliant.
They say that.
Passion.
That's so easy.
I think it's reignited his passion because he realizes that they'll throw fucking millions at him.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as he's got I saw the trailer.
I like Daniel Craig. I think he's a great Bond. I think it's such a shame.
I think Pierce Brosnan was a great Bond too.
Yeah, he got a bit hammy near the end.
Another one.
But I think I like. I think was it?
What's your favorite Pierce Brosnan movie? Because mine's GoldenEye, his very first one.
They're all. I mean, basically they're all good. Those first three, anyway, are very good.
Right.
I mean, I like The World Is Not Enough because it's got Robbie Coltrane comes back in it, and the villain is she's great and she's gorgeous, and I like the other. And was it The World Is Not Enough? That's also one with Robert Carlyle. That's a good one. The World Is Not Enough. That's
another day. Did you like that one?
Weaker. The villain's certainly weaker in that one, but you got Terry Hatcher looking fantastic.
Yep.
And just like Bond being suave Bond.
Yeah.
I do think though when they do change Bond again, when Craig does go, they're going to have to change it up a wee bit. I know they are making money in it, but I do think that they will change it up a wee bit, whether they keep it modern day or perhaps they might go back and set it in the 60s or something.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I would love to see a
19... that Christopher Nolan, apparently, this was a rumor about last year, maybe the year before. Christopher Nolan wanted to do a trilogy of Bond films set in the 60s with one actor.
That would be fantastic.
So,
I would like to go the other way as well. Like, okay, there's so many things you can do with Bond that is so much fun. Like, I'll give you two examples.
Don't make it a woman.
You could go for. You could easily cross it over with the Mission Impossible franchise. It's got the same like kinetic pace, and they basically keep pace with each other. It could work. I think you could pull it together, and it could work. Secondly, you could go like full science fiction with James Bond, and it still work.
Wait.
No,
keep science fiction out me spy fucking movies, right? I want me good-looking woman. I want me good-looking woman.
Okay.
I want me main protagonist to be shagging those women and
Exactly.
kicking, right, breaking legs, shooting people, having a
Okay.
drink, right? Fucking being poisoned
Okay.
and being able to go back to the town and have a card game. I don't want sci-fi. That's the fucking
no.
Hold on. The worst fucking 2 bleeding James Bond episodes or stories had sci-fi in them, right? And that was Die Another Day and that Abomination, the one with Roger Moore in space.
I love that one.
Russia with Love. That's the one.
No, I love Memory.
They're the 2 worst fucking
I love it. I love it.
Keep your sci-fi out of my bleeding
no.
James Bond.
Picture this. It's a new James Bond. They're rebooting Bond.
Right.
You don't know who's playing Bond. You have 2 actors who could equally play Bond. You have imagine your 2 actors. You have Henry Cavill and give me another actor.
Tom Hiddleston.
Henry Tom Hiddleston. They both wake up. Their minds has just been recently wiped, right? And all they know is one of them is a villain and one of them's Bond, that they don't know who's who, and they're stuck together and have a movie together where they try and find out who James Bond is, and at the end it's revealed.
It's Moonraker. That's
I can see. I would love that. I would love the movie of that.
Ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Star is stupid. Don't know. Hang on, right? Who's with Rabbi? Who doesn't mind if Doctor Who? Who doesn't mind if James Bond did a kind of a sci-fi kind of spy espionage story?
Okay. James Bond Godzilla. Yes. Awesome. With Mecha Godzilla. Not just Godzilla. Mecha Godzilla.
Sure could. There's talk that No Time to Die, that this new technology that Rami Malek's character, I'm just going to call him Dr. No because I think he is Dr. No, that Dr. No has that it's something to do with his face, of like keeping him young, and it's this sort of new technology that's keeping him alive. He's much older than what he is.
No.
He looks much younger than what he is.
So he'd be basically playing the original Doctor now back in the 60s. So he'd be the same person, but older. But because of this technology,
he does look like Doctor. It's a good casting.
Wow. They haven't showed his hands, otherwise. They haven't showed his hands.
Oh,
right. They have not. He does have that, like, frozen kind of like quality, right?
If you think about it, right, who is the next biggest person in the James Bond franchise to Blofeld? Who is next after Blofeld? It has to be Dr.
No one. Yeah, Dr. No, I guess. It's like General. Wasn't it? There was the Russian general who was in a bunch of them.
I think it's Dr. No, and there's this talk too going through the trailers. This secret that Madeline had. I think Madeline was a Spectre agent, or maybe I could be wrong by saying this. Now this could fuck up what. Maybe if I'm wrong here, maybe correct me. Could Madeline and Vesper Lind be sisters, or am I wrong with that?
Oh,
could they be sisters?
No, that'd be too silly.
Right.
He would know.
It'd be good if they could explain it. I mean, it's an interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be. It's like they had. That's the problem they had with the last one.
You're the man that loves Moonraker. You're not allowed to talk about James Bond, right? You're the man that loves Moonraker. You're not allowed to talk about James Bond anymore.
Oh, I love Moonraker. Moonraker's awesome.
No, I want to ask you this now. And be careful before you answer. Your favorite James Bond
ever. When Jaws falls from the sky and he meets the young blonde girl.
Yeah,
they fall in love.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was cute, but still ridiculous. Listen,
you have
before you leave, because you said you were leaving 5 minutes ago.
Great, right? Yeah. There's like so much great stuff about that movie. You have a whole battle at the end.
That would be an interesting one to watch along with you with, actually.
Fun.
Before you actually go, though, right?
Yeah.
Because you said you were gone 5 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
but he could be
But you've
sucked
gotten a
in.
second wind all of a sudden. But I'll ask you, right? What
Yeah.
is your favorite? And Marty, I'll ask you the same question. What is your favorite James Bond movie of all time?
Oh,
Have you got a top 3?
favorites. I can't. There isn't a favorite. I have favorite.
Don't know.
Well, while you're thinking on that, I'll read out this.
Okay. So, moving backwards then from the most recent, I would say not the last one. Skyfall. The Quantum Solace was horrible. Casino Royale. Die Another Day was horrible. World is Not Enough. Yes, I'm gonna have to say all the 3 previous Pierce Brosnan ones. They're all near perfect Bond movies for me. Tomorrow Never Dies. I think it's catching up Tomorrow Never Dies because it's got a weak villain, but it's got that awesome opening where they're in an arms seller's like
yeah,
yard.
I know. I agree with you. Cinematic.
And he's filmed the plane, and it flies out, and that's freaking awesome. That's just pure Bond.
Casino Royale, or else I'll probably be shocked for saying this. The Living Daylights.
Living Daylights, good movie.
I like both of Timothy Dalton's movies, but my favorite one has to be Live and Let Die.
Wait, I haven't finished yet. I'm still talking about best Bond movies.
Yeah, and my one is Live and Let Die. I'm just letting you know what my best one is. It's Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. Oh, but I got so many.
I'm
going to say Living Daylights for Timothy, and then Roger Moore's tough. I think Spy Who Loved Me is the archetypal Roger Moore movie, but I also like the Spy Who for Your Eyes Only.
What do you think?
Live and Let Die. Probably the better one,
I guess. I really like From Russia with Love. I'm going to say Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. Even the soundtracks to all the Bond movies, deadly. But here's a from Nicholas Horton, who says, if Casino Royale is the first novel chronologically, then why was Dr. No the second novel was the first movie?
Because none of that matters. Okay, here's what matters with James Bond. That they have fantastic locations, great car chases, like just great plots, beautiful women, and
but I think he's asking why they didn't start off with Casino Royale when they were deciding to do the Bond movies. Would you know the reason behind that? Is it because
although if you want to see the true origin of the writing of Casino Royale, you need to go to biblicalcomics.com and look at my comic book, The Imperium, which has that very scene in it where not Corundal, was it? Who wrote the Bond books?
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming wakes up in the middle of the night in Jamaica and starts writing Casino Royale. So there you go. If you go Biblical Comics, and it's actually all online for free, or you can buy it, but I'm not sure when it's going to be shipped to you.
The reason why Casino Royale wasn't the first Broccoli Bond film, as far as I know, is because they didn't have the rights to that at the time. If I'm right, maybe
that makes sense.
They didn't have the rights to that. But I'll tell you one thing, changing the topic a wee bit. I hope to Christ in No Time to Die that they have a proper gun barrel. I'm a big gun barrel. I love the gun barrels into every film. I think
they nearly had one in the last one, didn't they? So they did have one in the last one.
They did have one at the start. That was the only thing.
Because they're going for like the most archetypal Bond. They had a gun barrel at the end of the one before, right?
I want to hear the Bond music now, Craig. Like, come on, you prick! You got it at the end of you got a little bit of the Bond music at the end of Casino Royale, and then that was it. We don't really get the Bond theme or any of the.
There's a
What do you?
That's the one thing I have complained
there's
about. I do agree with people, the gadgets. I do miss the gadgets, but they have started to kind of bring them back a little bit.
They did. What did you think
but I don't like the exploding pens.
In Casino Royale?
What?
What do you think of like the pseudo gun barrel sequence in Casino Royale?
Yeah, I don't
very
mind.
different. Very different.
I mean, it's cool. Okay, now it's gone midnight. I really got to go to bed.
Right.
Oh,
So we're going to head off myself anyway. We've done 3 hours. I didn't plan on doing 3 hours, but there you go. That's what happens when you have so many good guests on. So, Rabbi, listen, we'll drop your channel in. We get people to yoke, and you have a competition tomorrow, obviously, as well.
Yeah, we'll have a new one up.
So join me and Rabbi at 6 o'clock. I don't know if I'll go live at 5 because they're doing this thing for Sarah Jane at 5, or we'll bring it up before we actually start.
Listen, give me a pause if I'm around. If I'm up for it, I'm around.
Right, listen, if Rabbi is up for it, we'll be live at the same time because I actually want to get a reaction to it. Be interested. So me and Rabbi are going to be here for at least, we'll be here for a while. But we're going to be doing something that we like. So get you that coffee. Whatever you need to take to stay awake. I'm not suggesting that you take any,
Oh, I have.
But if you need to take on to stay awake, whatever it is, use a Red Bull or whatever.
Right before this happened, we got a brand new coffee maker. This machine, best machine we've ever had. It's fan-freaking-tastic.
So you're gonna be So Rabbi will be flying tomorrow.
You put in there. And it makes you don't even have to froth the milk, but you have to froth it as well. Oh, so good.
Oh, no way. Well, here, Rabbi is going to be high as a kite tomorrow on his coffee. So join us for Turn Left. Obviously, we'll go live for that Sarah Jane thing. If he's around, we'll go live for it. If not, we'll go live a half an hour earlier so we can discuss it and tell you what. If you haven't seen it, we'll let you know what happened in it. But Rabbi, listen, I'll let you go now. We'll throw your channel up. Talk to you tomorrow, mate. Great.
Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
You too, man. Get some sleep. Go on. Talk to you soon. And Martin, before you go, we'll just finish up on that whole Gallifrey base thing for a second. I'm not finished with those idiots yet. But anybody from Gallifrey base that's listening to me, my name is Noel from the Tardis Zone. It has been suggested to me that I actually hide my name when I join, which is not something that I actually want to do, but I'm going to try both anyway. I will go down as the Tardis Zone because it'd be very interesting to see if you little pussies will actually let someone in that will actually fight you on all these arguments and actually take his arguments apart to see how you would react to that. Because as I said, go on.
There's people in there who disagree, though. There's people in there who are just as mad as you are, but they're getting shot at from all angles, and that's what I say.
Listen, I've been shot at from all angles for the last 2 years, mate. I've got this kind of it's like a J-bot shield. These idiots, trust me, I've seen it all. I've been called it all. Sure, I was told last year, I hope you die in a car crash. I was also told that Cheryl was having an affair with my brother and that I was having sex with my daughter and my sister. This is the type of shit that I get off these people every day. It's not the first time that I've gotten a death threat either. I get them almost daily. Now, since Doctor Who Series 12 has actually finished now, I don't get that abuse because the J-bots are on holidays now until it comes back Christmas. And then they'll be back again insulting me and calling me every name and wishing me dead. Sure, I wouldn't be surprised if half of them are wishing that I die of this whole virus. But sorry to disappoint you. I'm doing everything in my power to stay alive. And if I do get it, I'm pretty sure, even though I do have underlying medical conditions, I'm that strong that I'll give it my best go. I'm not going to go down without a whimper anyway. I never do. And when it comes to those people, Marty, I trust me, I've seen it all, so it won't faze me. Let them come after me. It's about time that someone faced them and their side of the argument. And I've seen some of the stuff because you've sent me some of the stuff. I will throw actually some of that stuff up I will cover their names because I don't want to actually embarrass the little twats. But I will put up what Marty sent me and show you the type of stuff that they're actually sending. Listen, look, at the end of the day, get this, trees are thick skulls. Sarah Jane Smith was never a lesbian. She never showed any lesbian tendencies. As people have said, she was getting married in the Sarah Jane adventures, but even seeing her in Classic Who and New Who, she never came across that way inclined, to be quite honest. She had a son, actually, in Series 4. Now, I know that wasn't explained in the show. It may have been explained in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but she has a son. You know, you don't get a son by not, you know.
Yeah, well, it was actually going to be explained if the show had kept on that the son, Luke, was actually going to turn out to be gay. RTD was going to write that.
Which is fine, but that doesn't mean that Sarah Jane is gay or lesbian. You know what I mean? She wasn't written lesbian back then. If she was written lesbian back then, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But this is the thing. You just keep shipping all these characters. Don't be shipping characters that shouldn't be shipped. It's as simple as that. And, you know, we're getting this whole thing where, you know, they're all getting excited now because it's been confirmed that Bradley Walsh and Tolson Cole are leaving, right? So Series 13 is going to have Whittaker and Manip in the TARDIS. Sure, you can already hear them. They're in overdrive now with their little fantasies, you know, with their little. Wait, you see now when it comes back Series 13, all the shipping art, they'll ship them even more than they shipped them before. Because
there's videos on YouTube called Doctor Who Series 12 Gay Crack, and there's all these memes of Julie Whittaker and Mandy Gill and all, and it's a.
I think we've lost Marty.
Video just to. Hello?
Can hear you now. I lost myself as well. We both went down there. Go ahead anyway. What were you saying? Oh no, we're gone again. What's going on here? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. Both of us went off there, Marty. Both of us went off there. My sound and all is just had to completely go. StreamYard obviously is going through some issues, but we'll continue. Go on, make your point, and then we'll finish up anyway.
There's videos out there called Doctor Who Gay Crack, and it's
right.
full of it's shipping Julie Whittaker and Mandy Gill, and it's a video full. You ought to see the comments, and it's just full of shills. Full of shills.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I came across accidentally some of this art. Believe it or not, I was actually checking my own name on Google because I had been informed that there was a forum put up again, about me, talking about whether I'm a good host or not on the Tardis zone. So, which means that these people are clearly listening to what I have to say. Listen, I don't call myself a host, right? I don't even call this a show, it's a stream. But if you want to look at it that way, me being the host of a show, but I never claimed to be great or anything. I'm just a passionate fan who is sick and tired of the bullshit that has decided to speak up. But a lot of people did have some things to say about me. It was very interesting looking what these people think that I don't see these things, and to see when I'm not around to see what they actually have to say about me. Yeah, I have to admit, it's not nice when you see that people hate you that much because of your opinion over, let's be honest, it still is only a TV show, no matter what I think about it personally. But it's a TV show. For these people to act the way they act is actually quite pathetic, and it is vile. Some of the stuff that they wrote up, I couldn't even repeat here. But yeah, I was going, as I said, looking around, and I just came across this. It was called Tardis Zone something, and it just had a load of pictures in it. And when I went in and I had a look, and it was all art, and it was basically art of all the older companions and newer companions, and some of the doctors in highly sexual positions, in different sexual positions, doing stuff and all this. I mean, I literally took right. There's one picture in particular. I don't know. I think it's floated about on Facebook once. Obviously, it was reported and taken down, but there was a picture of Sarah Jane, and obviously it was new Sarah Jane because she was obviously wearing her jeans that she wore and the shirt that she wore. But yet, in this part of in this shipping art, she basically had her front bits out for everybody to bloody see with the shirt half open and all this crap. And she's there with a big, yeah. It's quite vile. Actually, as well on eBay, I actually put this photograph up. It's up on Twitter. Someone was selling a naked Jodie Whittaker doll. They basically took her clothes off and are selling her naked. They also have companions, plastic companions in sexual positions, and they're selling them on eBay as well. There is an underbelly in this fandom that is quite sick. Unfortunately, a lot of them have come to the surface because this show has actually given them the opportunity to have that voice. So the shipping of these characters is all a little sick fantasy for these people. It's nothing got to do with people's rights or how they're being, oppressed to these people. It's not. It's just having their own little sick fantasies put out on screen, and they don't care that Doctor Who is a children's program. And if you were a child right now, even though you probably can't comprehend half of the stuff that I'm saying, but if I were you, I'd be worried about your parents if they watched Doctor Who Series 12 and they were okay with a grown woman experimenting and murdering a child. If you were a child, I'd get out of my parents' house if my parents like that. But this is the thing. These people, and I will keep this part of the argument up. If one of you J-bots can tell me how you could justify, right, or how you're okay with the fact that the Time Lords are founded on the experimentation and murder of a child. If you're okay with that, right, I would like you to come on and explain to me why you're okay with that. Because I know Marty is saying, and I know I'm saying, and we're looking at this and we think this isn't normal. It's actually quite disturbing. So explain to me why you kind of, number one, don't bring that up, but number two, you bring up other stuff to distract. Listen, answer that question. I want an answer. I want an answer to why you think it's okay. Because if I tell you something, if you are my parent or you are my child and you like that, I would actually I'd be looking to get help for you because there's something not right with you. This is not normal. And it's funny that these people, especially the ones that I do bring up, Time Ladies and all these other shills, they haven't brought this up, that the fact that the Time Lords are founded on the experimentation. And I'll keep saying it, the experimentation and the murder of a child that wasn't even her child. An abandoned child, a refugee, a child that was abandoned for reasons that we will probably never know, right, was taken home to another planet, right? Now, I will admit, up until a point, she did look after and educate that child. But if that's what you're trying to justify, if this is what you have actually put in your head to try justify the fact that she ended up doing this, well, then you're still sick in the head. There is nothing that is actually saying about this. Nobody in their mind. You mean to tell me that you'd experiment and murder a child if it meant that you could live forever? Is that what you're telling me? Because if that's the case, you should be locked up and the key should be thrown away. you're clearly mad, mental, something wrong with you, because that's not normal behavior. Nobody wants to harm kids.
I've been chatting to my uncles and stuff like that who would have watched it years ago and just happened to hear about what went on there in series 12, and they're like, well, that completely changes what we know about the show. Like, it's not the show now. Like my uncle said, we grew up thinking, oh, the Doctor was a Time Lord who ran away, stole the TARDIS and ran away, and
that's it.
this
And
is what's
that's
been going
what
on
it
ever
is.
since.
And that's what it always has been, and that's what it should always be, Marty. You know what I mean? Look, as we said before, the foundation of the Time Lords, or how they came about, has always been a bit of a mystery. We've always gotten little snippets, and that's okay. Little snippets here and there, little pieces of the puzzle, fine. You know, don't give too much away. But this is what he's trying to tell us, is what we must accept as new canon for these Time Lords. The Time Lords were founded on the experimentation and murder, several times murdered, by the way. Not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times. How many times in that clip alone did that child
5?
regenerate? 5, 6, 7 times, maybe?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And these people, and listen, they don't bring it up, they never talk about it. So do you know, when you're the next time anybody out there is having an argument with a J-bot and they start throwing these ridiculous, the brain of Morbius and all at you, ask them this question. Why are you happy with the fact that the Time Lords are founded on the experimentation and the murder of a child several times over? Are you comfortable with that?
Somebody just needs to go on the Gallifrey base and start a new forum saying what you missed about the Timeless Children, and just put in, do you realise now that Time Lord Society has been found on the murder and experimentation of a child?
Exactly.
It would probably be taken down straight away, but it's the truth. It's the truth. There's no point.
It is the truth. You're right, but that's where we should be actually, and I said this a couple of days back, this is where we should be actually aiming the argument, because you know why? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because listen, they can never come back at us all the other times, but they still do with their little rhetoric, right? But with this one, how do you come back from this one when someone poses that question to a J-bot? How are they going to answer that one? They're not going to be able to answer that one without they're going to dig a hole for themselves, right? Because they're going to try justify it, right? Then you're going to see what these people are really like. They're going to try justify it, or they just won't say nothing. They won't open their mouths. But I think that's what you should do. To end an argument on Twitter, Facebook, or out, when they start throwing all this crap at you, start getting personal, then say, okay, so you must be okay with the fact that the Time Lords are now founded on the experimentation and the murder of a child, and leave it at that. They can't. Say that again.
If you all and start that forum, if you go on and start that thread, and
listen, by next week, I think I have to make an appearance on Gallifrey. Yeah. The only reason why I'm next week is because I'm dealing with a couple of issues right now at the moment. Unknown 289 says, actually, I still have my Gallifrey base account, and I could set up a thread maybe.
Get on it right now.
Do it. And do you know what you do for us as well, if you don't mind? When you start getting replies, to your question, to what we've asked you to do, send us the replies. Now, I will keep their names, obviously, for safety reasons, because it does work for both. I will be kind enough to leave their stupid names out, because they're stupid enough to comment. But see if there's anybody brave enough to try justify that, actually.
You see that?
And you know what? Pose that question right at the end when you put that up, right? Say, now try justify it. And see what happens. And I'd be surprised. Marty, how many do you think is going to reply? Do you think any will?
Yes, I'll tell you who replied. Do you know that person that I sent you their message?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah. That person replied, because that person there, figure out is the main J-bot on the site. I can figure out that's the main J-bot.
John is hoping
That's
that this
the right.
brainwashing technique by the master and it wasn't true. Okay, yes, John. Fair enough. But he still put it on screen. He still showed that happen. We do know that the master and yes, there is a saving grace from this that the master could be lying all the way through. But I disagree, and it's because of the Doctor Who Origins trailer. They put it out, and they actually said the secret of the Time Lords finally revealed. This isn't. This isn't. This isn't the Master playing tricks.
Unless he's altered the Matrix, but that's something. That's like something the Valyard would do, not the Master.
But this is not. This has happened. That's happened. That's not him manipulating the Matrix. This has happened. Because the Origins trailer confirms it, basically.
Well, here, listen, I'm going to head on here, but what I will say before I go is Unknown, get on, and if you get that form going, I will get in straight away now and start backing that up.
Yeah, don't do it now. Don't do it now because you're drinking. Don't do it now. I'm telling you now. I'm giving you friendly. Don't do it now. Do it tomorrow when you're sober. Yes, do not be doing that when you're drunk because you always regret shit when you're drunk. Trust me. Right, Marty. Listen, pal. That is a great idea. We'll get on with that. If you want to join us at some point tomorrow during this watch along, because I like to bring on a few guests. If you want to hop in on one of the episodes,
I'll
you get a chance. Just let me know if you're free, and then I'll send you the invite, and then you can pop in. Then, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
No problem. Listen, you look after yourself. Stay safe, and wash and protect the NHS.
Stay at home, stay safe, wash your hands, protect the NHS, and stop the Jody shills.
That's it, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we will be doing. And I know some of you will probably be pissed off with me tonight because I've basically said that I'm going to review this abomination, but I will go into more detail to explain because, you know, I do respect me subscribers on this. So some of you will deserve an explanation. So I'll explain it. But basically the gist is that I have to see what happens to this. I need to see where this goes. And number two is that if we stay silent, and I know like we haven't stayed silent during series 11 and 12, but I won't be kicking up much as a stink this time. But I do believe that we should review it because think about it. Radio Times is going to come out and say it's great. All the other newspapers are going to come out as great. Then newspapers are going to get shills then that are on Twitter to write articles to say it's great. Then the shills on Twitter and Facebook are going to be saying this is great. And then there's nobody representing their side of the fandom telling anybody how bad it actually really is. And
I'll head on, sure, and I'll hopefully, if I've got time, I'll chat these all tomorrow. So
no problem. Marty, thanks very much for coming on. I really appreciate it, pal. And you look after yourself, as I said.
And yourself too. Night, dog. Chat these after.
Good night. Good night, Mark.
Night.
Good night. Right, guys. As I said, anyway, I don't know. I know other YouTube I gave it the best review that I could give, even though I was still second, low down my expectations. But no, if I do this, I'm going to be brutal. I'm going to be brutal. If it's bad, I'm going to be brutal about it. If there's any good points, I will mention those good points, but I'm going to be brutal and I need to be brutal. But at the end of the day, these skills are not getting away with reviewing this on their own and saying it's good. And you know what? That's what they want us to do. They keep telling us to go. There's a reason why they keep telling us to go. Because we know what, if we know our voice means something. So I'm not going away. This shit is going to be reviewed, but it'll be reviewed differently. I'm not going to be, as I said, leading up to the episode. I'm not going to spend the whole week building it up. It's just like that's when the live stream's on. Watch me if you want to watch me. don't watch me, you don't want to watch me. And by the way, I will say this, I will understand that the people that are subscribed to me right now that feel like that I shouldn't and probably won't watch the stream. I understand that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to please everybody, but I need to know how this ends. And also, as I said, um, myself and Rabbi will do something on Pip and Jane Baker, especially after Pip just recently died. Just to break down some of the Doctor Who news for us before we go, a brief recap before I leave. So, Russell T is going to be joined by David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Frigma, Angie Mann, John Barrowman, and many more. They're all basically turning up for this tweet along. Also, 5 p.m. UK time, there will be a special farewell to Sarah Jane written by Russell T. And the person that put it together was on Emily Cook's page. Actually, I have noticed, but I won't bring it up right now. I won't bring it up right now because it's not the time to do it. But I want to talk about at some stage that all these people that have put the animations together all seem to be blah, 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 blah. But there seems to be a conscious decision to get any of these things that are done, it's clearly being led, it's clearly being done by women. Again, it's another extension of this whole, the BBC kicking boxes. But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying again, I have seen that most of this stuff, when anybody's done the animation or anything, it seems to be all women. They seem to have a problem with men doing anything. Yes, these stories are written by men, but what's the harm in having, male animators as well? Again, it's another thing. It's not the time and the place. Yeah, the audio on this seems to be going up and down quite a lot. But we will have a conversation on that after. We'll do it next week. I just don't want to do it because we got the tweet along, and it is Sarah Jane is one of our favorite characters, and it is going to be an emotional one tomorrow. But again, it'll be interesting. It's interesting to see again. There just seems, and you have a look. I can't get into it because yeah. Right, I'm gonna head. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will talk to you tomorrow with Rabbi. We have plenty coming next week on both channels. We're going to try to get a stream done on the Irish Geek. So if you haven't subscribed to the Irish Geek yet, please do. We'll be doing our War of the Worlds Time Machine, the Singing Detective there, all those other shows that we talked about, Misfits, Blake 7, everything is going to be, those type of shows obviously are going to be on the Irish Geek. And then obviously here on the Tardis on again, the source, as I said, we're back in contact again. So we should be getting the first thing. But here's the thing now. Last year we given news on Series 11 on Series 12. No, yeah, I was getting news for Series 12. I won't be doing any videos on any of the news that I get. If anybody wants to know what is going on with any of the episodes upcoming to Series 12 Doctor Who news, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the information up on Twitter instead. The reason for that is because I noticed during the Series 12, these videos are getting very high views. So that's because of the J-bots are watching as well. And I don't want to give this show any sort of hype for what's coming. So I'm not doing it on YouTube. I'll do it on Twitter. People seem to ignore me on Twitter anyway, especially most of the J-bots. So most of the news will go under the radar. So if you want any Doctor Who news for the upcoming series, when I start getting a flooding through, that's where it's going to be. It's not going to be on this YouTube channel. I'm never speaking about this era about stuff that's going on unless unless I get the information that Jodie Whittaker is regenerated, that's the only time I'll be coming on to do news for this era. So as I said, any latest news that you want, I'll be showing it on Twitter and on my Facebook group. I won't be doing any videos on any of the rumours or any of the stuff on this channel anymore. I'm sorry, I just can't promote it that way because I will be promoting it. I'm reviewing it. That's good enough as far as I'm concerned. I'm not. I don't care. You know what? I don't. To be honest with you, you know, yeah, it's Doctor Who news. The sauce is being good to me. So, like, out of loyalty, with each other, we're doing this. But to be honest with you, even the sauce is having enough. And to be honest, if you said to me tomorrow, listen, I'm not going to bother, I'd be like, fine. I don't really care. I don't really care. Right, listen, there's something wrong with this audio. It seems to sign up, so I'm gonna kill the stream now. So good night. I'll leave you with this. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you everybody that joined me as well in the chat. And thank you to all my moderators that have been moderating. I think the head moderator in the chat tonight was Daniel, who's been doing a great job. So thank you, Daniel. Nice to see some of the old faces up at this again. We will talk to you for that watch along, which starts with turn left. Don't forget, we start off with turn left. Uh, we might actually start off with the favorite game, farewell game, second day. If we can get it up to those copyright issues, we'll see. We'll do something anyway. But we'll be on tomorrow. Good night. See you soon. Good night, folks. I'm sorry about the audio. It is StreamYard. Enough from you are saying the audio. Worst audio I've seen ever. I can barely hear a thing. Um, yeah, sorry about that. The audio is never normally like that. The StreamYard is having difficulties because people are all at home on the internet at the same time, so we're having problems. But sorry about that. We'll talk to you tomorrow anyway. We'll try to figure it out tomorrow.